Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
Now when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we're coming to get our check, to get our check, to get our check.
Black Alpha, hop on, sir. Rally coming up, the real one that you're having. This is the only one I see that is genuinely sponsored by the Black grassroots, because I'm seeing all these other, rallies coming out. I'm seeing these $5 FBAs, these $2 tellers, these $3 trolls. Everybody seems to be upset because they see that we're getting closer to reparations. They're getting closer to the bag, and they can't stand it. And I heard people speaking on our reparations with accents, which makes no sense at all. None at all. You feel me, brother? So I'm looking forward to the real one. I will be there. I cannot wait, family, because it's real, genuine Black grassroots. I see these other people are basically inviting folks to the cookout. So when Sheila Jackson, me and these people are coming to the cookout, that ain't no real Black grassroots. So I salute you, family, and I cannot wait.
Yes, indeed. Peace, family. I'm going to put it like this. Let me frame it real clear for it. It's reparations for foundational Black Americans. Check. It's reparations for foundational Black American freedmen. Check. And it's FBA only. No trespassers. That door is locked. FBA all day. That part. Let's get to it. Yes. So much going on, so many things happening, and everybody's eyes are on us. And if everybody's watching, then we're going to put on a show like foundational Black Americans are known to do. And when it comes to putting on a show, y'all know that come with money. That come with getting to the bag. That come with shining. That come with everything that's great, because we are everything that's great. We center all this in foundational Black American excellence. If a motherfucker ain't with that, then they can hit the door. If you rocking, if you strong, if you powerful, and you got that passion, that energy, and that soul, let's get to it. As I say, FBA style, certified. I am Black Alpha 6. I appreciate everybody. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all the love we've been getting. I promise you from the bottom of my soul, so much love. I am truly humbled. I love my whole family tree, FBA. We are in this together. We shine together. We ball together. I appreciate living through this life experience with y'all. I appreciate going through this journey that we all going through right now in real time with y'all. I wouldn't change it for the world. I promise you that. If I could have anybody on my side when shit gets real, it'd be my fellow foundational Black American. All facts without a doubt. Put it like this. If I could have anybody on my side when this shit get popping out here, you already know who it'd be. All y'all, my fellow foundational Black American freedmen. Yeah, real. I love us. Love us every single day. Yes, indeed. So this time around, everybody knows one thing for sure, two things for certain. When we come in to get every single thing that we deserve. We come in to get every single thing that we've earned. And we come in to get every single motherfucking dollar they owe. So for all the naysayers out there, everybody who got their eyes on us 24/7, everybody who got all that FBA hate in their face, everybody who wishes they was us, I got a little message for you. In the words of our great ancestor, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we coming to Washington. Oh yeah, but this time we coming to get our check. Run it.
Now when we come to Washington, in this campaign, we're coming to get our check, to get our check.
Yes, turn up. If you ain't turned up right now, you ain't never gonna be turned up. Black Alpha Network, all the way live. Respect and blessings to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Respect and blessings to all of our foundational Black American ancestors. Respect and blessings to all of our foundational Black Americans right here, right now, today. Living in our era and our time, making history. We're all making history. As we speak, we are getting to it. The world is changing because of us. If you ever wanted to be a part of something that changes the world, if you ever inspired to change the world, well then salute yourself, because you're doing it. You're doing it right now, family. We're all doing it. We're making strides. We're making changes. We're doing everything historic. Everything we're doing right now is historic. You are a part of a historic era, so act like it. Enjoy it. Enjoy the show. Enjoy the ride. It don't last forever. It don't last forever. We here right now, so let's make it a good one. Remember this, history will be written, but it will be written in foundational Black American handwriting. I know that for sure. They know that without a shadow of a doubt. And you know what comes along with being great? What comes along with being the big dogs on the block? What comes along with running the yard? What comes along with being the best lineage, heritage, and culture that the world has ever seen is a whole lot of haters, a whole lot of naysayers, a whole lot of people got a whole lot of smoke for foundational Black Americans, but they ain't gonna do a goddamn thing. Understand that. See, when we step into the building, it's all eyes on us. When we step into the place, it's all eyes on us. When we get into the bag, it's all eyes on us. Y'all tell me one place where foundational Black Americans convene, where foundational Black Americans network, where foundational Black Americans meet up, that all the trolls, all the haters don't start watching us. Tell me what. Tell me one place, whether that's at a meeting, whether that's at a protest, whether that's at a rally, whether that's on a Twitter space. Tell me one place where foundational Black American presence is heavy, where you don't see a bunch of haters stopping and watching. I mean, they got out the goddamn telescope, they got out the goddamn microscope, they got binoculars, they looking over fences, looking through barbed wire, looking out their window, they peeking, they doing everything they can so they can take notes from foundational Black American greatness. But here's the thing, they can study us, they can watch us, they can sit there and watch every single move we make, but they can never beat us because what we have is priceless. You understand that? This is the shit, either you wake up with it in the morning or you don't. You can't make one of us. You can't go put on a motherfucking hat, put on a jacket, put on some shoes. You can't talk like us, twist your words to sound like us, and think that you are us. All you're gonna do is fail. And I'm not surprised that's why a lot of these damn people fail. When you are a foundational Black American, that soul is with you when you were born. You got it, I got it, our ancestors got it, our elders got it, our children got it. This is why they always try to tell us how we ain't got no culture. Why you think they say that? They know goddamn well we got a culture because they try to act like our culture. You got motherfuckers acting like FBAs all across the planet Earth, so the world know we got culture. We are the culture. We the culture that makes the whole damn planet move. So why do you think they're always trying to tell us how we have no culture? That's because they don't want us to tap in to something they could never tap into. That's because they don't want us to tap in something that they wish they had. That's because they don't want us to tap in to something that separates us from everybody else. That is that FBA freedman soul. Lineage, heritage, culture. We got that. So the haters is jumping out the woodwork because they understand that lineage, heritage, and culture is gonna stay right here. We keeping that all in-house, and that's what we've been doing. When it comes to politics, we keeping it in-house. When it comes to the social world, we keeping it in-house. When we start talking about our music, it's staying in-house. Everything is staying right here, FBA only, no trespassers. Put the sign up around the whole goddamn house. That's what it do, because can't nobody get what we got. Too long have people been trying to get what we got. Too long people have been trying to stop us from getting what belongs to us. And now, as I always say right here on the Black Alpha Network, Certified BLACK, they got two choices. They can give that shit up or they can get it took. And right now we taking it. And right now they in a frenzy. Right now they scared. Right now they don't know what to do. And this is why they sending out ops everywhere, man. There's ops all over the place. It's getting real oppy outside. Everywhere you go, you literally have groups, people, individuals popping up. Didn't we know this? We knew as soon as we got codified, the ops was coming. We knew as soon as we start talking about reparations, the ops is coming. Family, I want y'all to identify and watch the way our reparations claim has changed everything. Everything. When we put reparations on the table, when we knocked all they shit off the fucking table and we put reparations front and center, the whole goddamn world was on alert. All the motherfucking agents start popping up. All the tethers start popping up. All the shields start popping up. All the ops every goddamn where. And that's because foundational Black Americans, we ain't playing that shit. No, we don't play that. We don't play that. Fuck no. They understand and they see it and we see it too. Everything they see, we see. They understand that we coming to get our check and we coming to get it in full. We ain't coming to get half the check. We not trying to take $2.29. We don't want no fucking pennies. We want all the goddamn dollars. All right. We want it all. We taking it home with us. We gonna start dishing that shit out to the people it belongs to. Foundational Black Americans, because there would be no America if it wasn't for us. Anybody who flies in here, you're flying into the land that foundational Black Americans created. The architects, the owners, this is ours. Everything belongs to us. And we're not taking anything less. They want to go back to the days where folks was cool with taking less, where they was the bare minimums, where they was content with just nothing. We ain't content with anything other than everything that belongs to this right here. And that's exactly what the fuck we gonna do. And that's exactly how the fuck we gonna get it. We coming to get our check. So I salute everybody out there. Y'all know this reparations rally's coming. Cannot wait to see the fam. You gonna see a whole bunch of on-code foundational Black Americans in the same place at the same time. Y'all know goddamn well that's got everybody up. Yes, it do, and that's good because that's what happens when we get codified, and that's what happens when we're building something, and we're building something very, very historic. And y'all been seeing everything going on when we start building historic things. Y'all see everything that starts going on when we making monumental moves. Y'all see everything that's going on when we at that boss's table calling them shots. And that's what we've been doing, y'all. We've been calling shots, shot callers. Shot callers. Yeah, we do not wait. We are not reactive. We are proactive. You feel me? We are getting to the bag. We're not waiting for it. See, it's one thing to sit back and wait. We're not begging, hoping, wishing, and coping. No, We building, working, shining, grinding. The difference is profound. And we gonna show them what time it is. Y'all know FBA put on the goddamn show. Yes, we do. So salute to the whole family. Let's go get it. Everybody's talking about reparationists. We all reparationists. We all reparationists, and we focused on that. They got ops, we got objectives. And each objective will get checked off the list. Each goal will get checked off the list. And we're moving past any hater that gets in the way. So speaking of haters that gets in the way, there's only one way to handle that. And that's what we call around here G-checking and regulating. So I've been hearing a whole lot of them popping up, a lot of funny style people, a lot of folks who've been having issues, and we knew they was coming. We knew damn well that they was gonna start popping up faces you ain't never seen before, faces that don't want to be vetted, faces that got issues with what we doing. Be very careful of these pop-up groups. We talked about these pop-up groups. We spoke of how pop-up groups will pop up in the middle of the goddamn night at 11:52, start acting like they've been around for a long time, start acting like they some type of OG, trying to act like they got good paperwork when their paperwork is dirty. They always want the red carpet treatment. They always try to act like they dictating something. They only dictate because they want to derail. Remember that. The person who comes around is trying to dictate to you, that's the same individual who's trying to derail you. And we ain't gonna be derailed. Oh, not at all. So right here today on the Black Alpha Network, we're gonna highlight some folks. Yes, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Yes, let's pull up some. We're gonna sit back and we're gonna frame some things so we can bring some real certified energy up in here and bring some clarity to the situation. Won't be no muddy in the waters. That ain't gonna work. Won't be causing no confusion. That ain't gonna work. The only thing that's gonna work is us putting in work as the certified bosses that we are and running any type of sucker shit off the block. Because if it ain't sponsored by the black grassroots, then it ain't a black grassroots movement. If it doesn't have black grassroots brothers and sisters involved, then it ain't a black grassroots movement. And if it doesn't have a black grassroots agenda, then it ain't a black grassroots movement, and we gonna cancel that shit on sight. Straight up, and take the term reparation off. Don't even use that word. Reparations is coming out the mouths of a lot of people who ain't got no business speaking on it. I don't give a damn who they are. I don't give a damn where they from. A lot of folks are speaking on our reparations, not to uplift it, not to go get the bag. They're speaking on it so they can downplay us and keep the bag away. Remember that. Only foundational black American certifieds speak on the term reparations and really mean it. Really want to go do something about it. Really want to go get our justice. These other folks, they don't want that shit. They only want to speak about that word. They only want to use that word so they can stop us from getting to the money. Because they know us getting to the money is their worst fucking nightmare because we whooping their ass without the money. So what's going to happen when we got the bag? What's going to happen when we building businesses? What's going to happen when we get our justice claim that is rightfully ours, that belongs to us, every single dollar that's owed? The whole world's going to turn upside down. And that's what's happening, family. They see a world that is starting to teeter. They seeing a world that's starting to spin. And they getting real motherfucking scared because they see the world of tomorrow. The world where foundational black Americans get the reparations that we're going to. The world that foundational black Americans get the bag, which we're going to. And the world where foundational black Americans get our justice claim is a world that they do not want to see. And they will go to any length to do so. That's why you start seeing pop-up groups, pop-up activists, pop-up shills, pop-up tethers, pop-up Pan-Africans, pop-up Israelites, pop-up pastors, pop-up politicians, pop-up $5 FBAs, pop-up $2 tethers, pop-up $3 trolls. They popping up everywhere, and they all got one thing in mind, and that's to stop FBA from doing FBA things. But we're going to take care of our business. We're going to take care of our business real good, nice and smooth. And anybody who steps in that lane is going to find out quick, fast, in a hurry that there are only two people on this planet. That is foundational black Americans and everybody else who wants to be a foundational black American. Line the haters up, knock them down, including this guy.
That white folks and Chinese is praying you get your reparations. Do you know how much money they're gonna make off weave the day after reparations? They're gonna have a reparations weave sale. A reparations Air Jordan special. A Harriet Tubman reparations Mercedes-Benz special. The worst thing you can do is give Negroes money without infrastructure. And that's why I look at a lot of the reparations advocates as opportunists. Okay. Because if you really care about black people, don't beg for the money now. Build our banks, build our schools, build our malls, build our factories, build our... Then you go get the money because you have a network to keep the money inside. Okay. But without no network, you're going to get that money and give it right back to the same people who paid.
Man, get the fuck out of here. How's somebody gonna talk about our reparations money, what we need to do with our reparations money, when he been accepting money from people for the last 10 years and ain't built a cafeteria? No. This motherfucker been accepting money from foundational black Americans for the last 10 years and he ain't built a goddamn playground. He fuck a playground. He ain't built the motherfucking swing set. Motherfucker build some monkey bars in this bitch and then talk about our goddamn money. Fuck monkey bars. Motherfucker, you ain't built a monkey bar. Fuck a swing set. You ain't built a swing. Fuck a school. You ain't built a classroom. Y'all want to know what that sound y'all keep hearing is? That sound y'all keep hearing, that's 2006 and they want Dr. Umar's school back, okay? That's what it is. You want to talk about somebody who's out of touch. You want to talk about somebody where the movement has passed them by. Can't y'all see already right now? 20 years from now, Dr. Umar gonna be gray. He gonna be old as fuck. He gonna be wrinkled as fuck. And he's still gonna be talking about some Pan-Africanism that everybody else done moved on from and he ain't realized it yet. He's the last motherfucker to know. The whole goddamn world know Pan-Africanism ain't popping. I done had Africans call my space personally and say there ain't no Pan-Africanism. And a man from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, he act like he from fucking Philadelphia, Nigeria. He act like he Philadelphia, Ghana. He act like he Philadelphia, Zimbabwe, or the Ivory Coast, or South Africa. Bruh, you from fucking Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Last time I checked, that's in the United States of America. Does he act like he's a descendant of foundational black Americans, or does he act like he's a descendant of the goddamn Dahomey tribe? Motherfucker, you ain't FBA, you the homie. He the homie. Dr. Umar ain't no goddamn FBA, he the homie. All that, I'm a descendant of Fred Douglass. Motherfucker, you the descendant of Mr. Lumbumba. The fuck out of here. Build a school. You ain't gave out a goddamn book bag. Hey, listen, I know people personally who've given away book bags for going back to school. I done seen people personally who done gave away school supplies. I know teachers who done gave away school supplies. He ain't gave away a goddamn color pencil. The fuck out of here and want to talk about somebody's money. Talking about we need to build schools and malls and this and that. And motherfucker, you been trying to build a school since a goddamn kid wasn't even old enough to go to school. The damn kid in college with 2 degrees now. That's how long he been trying to build a school. You ain't no damn FBA. You ain't no FBA. Listen, man, let's just say it. If Dr. Umar doesn't like foundational black Americans, he just needs to come out and say it. Just say it, you are Pan-African and you are not FBA. Just denounce your FBA-isms, all right? Because all I see from Dr. Umar is him putting hurdles and blockades in front of foundational black American progress. Under his logic, listen to me, family, this Black Alpha speaking word up. Under his logic, foundational black Americans should not receive reparations unless every single black person on the planet Earth from every single continent gets it. That's what he believes. That is how pathetic, ignorant, and impractical this man's ideology has become. Dr. Umar has thought himself fucking insane. All right. Dr. Umar started off and people used to rock with him. He's very, very intelligent when he starts talking about supremacy, when he starts talking about the dominant society. But anytime he starts talking about foundational black Americans, you hear the spite in that man's voice. You hear the anger. My man Rilla, shout out to Rilla family. Rilla said it best. You got a lot of FBAs with tether mentalities. Dr. Umar has a tether mentality. He thinks completely like a tether. What's the difference between what Dr. Umar says about foundational black Americans and what you hear these tethers say on these damn Twitter spaces? It's the same thing. Dr. Umar's against FBA reparations. Tethers are against FBA reparations. Dr. Umar says that we're going to spend our money wrong. The tethers say we're going to spend our money wrong. Dr. Umar doesn't want to see foundational black Americans achieve without the attachment of the diaspora. Tethers don't want to see foundational black Americans achieve without the attachment of the diaspora. It's the same exact thing. Brother, if you don't like foundational black American freedmen, just come out and say it. It'd be a lot easier. It'd be a lot easier. And speaking of this, let's say the thing that everyone knows but ain't nobody real enough to say, but y'all know the Black Alpha Network gonna say that shit off top. Okay, very, very fucking clear. Let's put it this way. All these people who talk about Pan-Africanism who are right here in the United States of America, how come they don't ever go and give all that damn financial advice to the Africans? Somebody explain that shit to me. How's Dr. Umar sitting here right now criticizing foundational black Americans about reparation money that we haven't even got yet? He ain't talking about money that we've received. He's not talking about money that's already been deposited in our bank accounts. They haven't even written the checks yet. And he's already criticizing how we done spent money we ain't even got yet. Okay? That's what he's doing. How come he doesn't fly his ass over to Africa and give that same criticism, that same financial advice to Africans who are over there selling their soul to every colonizer who shows up? They've been selling their soul to every colonizer who shows up for the last 1,000 years, and he ain't gave 1 second of criticism about their money. Quit pocket watching FBA. Go take your Pan-African ass to Pan-Africa and go give them some financial advice. Go critique them on how they lose all their resources, how they lose all their minerals, how they lose all their gas, how they lose all their oil, how they lose all their diamonds, how they lose all their gold, all their rubies. Why the Queen of England was running around here with a big ass goddamn crown on her head that she walked into Africa, took out, put it back on her head, went back to Africa, and they all bowed to her. Why don't you go criticize them? How come there ain't never no criticism for Africa from these Pan-Africans, but it's always towards foundational Black Americans? It's that same shit that the homie tribe was doing. Selling brothers and sisters out, removing yourself from the race, and then trying to throw your hand up and tell us to praise you. No, you separated yourself. You separated yourself based on tribe, based on tribalisms, based on backstabbing culture. Foundational Black Americans been over here on this island getting it out the mud on our own. So when we turn around and we say, fuck y'all, we get to our bag for us, FBA only, no trespassers, just like I said. Now everybody want to cry foul. Dr. Umar is trying to run interference, y'all. Dr. Umar doing the same thing these busted ass tethers be doing on these Twitter spaces. Dr. Umar is trying to run interference because he knows foundational Black American exceptionalism is a threat to his fantasy Disneyland ass ideology of Pan-Africanism. And he hates it. So we just need to really get to the point where we understand Dr. Umar is an op of foundational Black America. Think about it. This era right now is being defined by our nationalism, by us representing where we come from, by us taking ownership over the country that we created. Let me say that one more time. This is the country that we created. We are the architects of this country. We've been bred in this country to not take ownership over our greatness, to not take ownership over every single invention that we've ever created, to not take ownership over the land that wouldn't nobody be in this bitch if it wasn't for us. Everybody's mad because foundational Black Americans are taking ownership over the United States of America, the country that belongs to us, the country that we created. There'd be no USA without FBA. One more motherfucking time for your motherfucking mind. There'd be no USA without FBA. And a Pan-African like Dr. Umar Johnson cannot stand that because that goes against his ideology of every single Black person in the world is going to get one big universal reparations check. And we got to share it with everybody. Do y'all see how the movement has passed his ass by? And let me say this. Anybody who is more concerned with how we spend our reparations money opposed to us getting our reparations money is looking real oppy outside. And Dr. Umar got op written all over his face. I don't give a damn. If he's a Pan-African, he need to go take that shit to Africa and go teach them. If we all one big Black person, how come it's only FBA that he criticizes? And you see this theme all the time with Pan-Africanism. Okay, you see it because it's all based upon warm and fuzzies about the motherland. My warm and fuzzies is about this country right here that my ancestors built out here in these damn slave fields. That's what all my goddamn warm and fuzzies about. All my sentiment stays right here at home. See, the difference between us and them is that we can sit there and show respect to everybody, but still represent ourselves. We can show love and admiration for the continent and still show love for ourselves. He's the type of motherfucker who wants to denounce the whole goddamn country. Dr. Umar wants to denounce the whole foundational Black America. And that goes along with our ancestors, and I'm gonna tell you why. If you do not support reparations, that is directly you saying you don't give a fuck about our ancestors who were enslaved, who were assaulted, who were brutalized, who were maimed, who had to deal with the most horrific conditions in human history. That's basically you saying you don't give a fuck. You know why? Because it doesn't fit your Pan-African ideology. How off code can you get, family? How off code can you get? I don't give a fuck if your ass is from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or you from Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. You need to fly your ass over to Ghana if you love Africa that much that you're willing to shit on the ancestors of foundational Black Americans. Basically what he's saying is that he don't give a damn about slavery if it doesn't fit his Pan-African ideology. Basically, he don't give a damn about us building this country if it doesn't fit his ideology of Pan-Africanism. He doesn't give a damn about us inventing everything that this country has ever had if it doesn't fit his ideology of Pan-Africanism. It has been proven that for Dr. Umar, it is Pan-Africanism above everything else, including our foundational Black American ancestors who just happen to be slaves. Because if you did support them like you say you support them, reparations would be number one on your list. And you wouldn't put reparations 4, 5, 6, and 7 underneath Pan-Africanism. Think about that, y'all. Think about that. This man is putting Pan-Africanism over our own ancestors, and he thinks that shit is sweet. You out your goddamn mind. Off code is a motherfucker. Dr. Umar turned into one of those, I don't want you to get reparations if you don't do it my way. He's one of them, if you don't do it my way, I don't like you type of activists. And that has always been a poison to the community. Folks who cannot understand how to collaborate with a brother or sister just based on simple differences. If you got a simple difference, that's okay. You down for Pan-Africanism? That's cool, do you. We're gonna be over here getting foundational Black American exceptionalism. But we can work together if we all on the same code. But he don't wanna do that. This man is saying, nope, I'm throwing hurdles and blockades in front of y'all if you don't wanna practice Pan-Africanism. Because that's all he is. If not, he wouldn't have said what he said. Y'all heard the clip. He wouldn't sit there with so much spite and vitriol. Anytime you hear the term FBA come up from Dr. Umar, he always says it with some type of negative energy, some type of spite. As I said, he got FBA hate all in his face every single time he mentions us. We on the other hand saying, man, we willing to work with anybody who's on code across the world. He's saying he ain't working with nobody unless you Pan-Africanism like him. He's done turned into one of those, if you don't do it my way, I don't like you. Now, I'm not surprised that he's willing to tear everything down if it don't go his Pan-African way. Ain't that same backstabbing culture we say goes on in the diaspora? Y'all see what we talking about? With some of these FBAs who got tether mentalities? I'm not surprised that a person who practices Pan-Africanism, a person who puts Pan-Africanism above our reparations, a person who puts Pan-Africanism over our ancestors, a person who puts Pan-African over the slavery that our ancestors had to deal with, a person who puts Pan-Africanism over the justice claims of foundational Black Americans. I'm not surprised that that person is willing to tear down everything if he can't get it his way. That's what we call a backstabbing culture. And it's clear that Dr. Umar has a tether mentality. Point blank, period, case closed, I said it. It's that same energy. Shit, he said FBA can't even come to his school. He said, if you consider yourself a foundational Black American, which is a lineage, by the way, you can't consider yourself an FBA. Either you are or you aren't. It's a lineage. He said, if you are an FBA, then you can't come to his school. So he don't even want us coming to his school. He don't want us to get reparations. He don't want us to come to school. He's openly slandering us and throwing all types of hurdles and blockades in front of our reparations claim, something that we take very serious, something that our ancestors are owed. Let me tell you this, family. Reparations is owed to our ancestors for what they had to deal with, and this guy is out there openly denouncing reparations. Yo, people was in the slave fields of Louisiana? Dr. Umar don't give a fuck, because they ain't Pan-African. Yo, people was in the slave fields of Georgia? Dr. Umar don't give a fuck, because they ain't Pan-African. Yo, people was in the slave fields of Alabama and Arkansas? Dr. Umar don't give a fuck, because they ain't Pan-African. Yo, people was in the slave fields of Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina? Dr. Umar don't give a fuck, because they not Pan-African. It's Pan-Africanism over reparations. It's Pan-Africanism over FBA. It's Pan-Africanism over slavery to Dr. Umar Johnson. So when we say he off code, out of pocket, and off brand, that's a motherfucking truth. But peep game, if you flipped it up on him, y'all know how he would respond. Flip it up on him. Say reparations for Virginia, he say nope. You say reparations for Zaire, he'd be like, yep. You say reparations for Kentucky, he'll say nope. You say reparations for the Congo, he'll say, yep. I guarantee you, that same clip where he was talking about basically we don't need reparations. If you remove foundational Black Americans and you put in Africans getting reparations, his whole energy will change, and I guarantee he'd support it. So basically, he don't support it when it comes to FBA. But if you were talking about reparations for Africa, guarantee he'd say he supports it. Go ask him. Ask him if he supports the Portuguese, the British, the French, giving reparations to the diaspora. I guarantee he supports that. He just don't support it for foundational Black Americans because he's a motherfucking hater. And here's two things. Y'all notice this? He only represents foundational Black American ancestors when he could say that he's the descendant of one of them. Whenever he could say he's a descendant, then all of a sudden he'll represent it. He don't want to represent our ancestors when it comes to reparative justice. Nope. He don't want to represent our ancestors when it comes to reparations. He don't want to represent our ancestors when it comes to building this country. Nope. Then he's all about Africa and Mr. Lumbumba. But whenever he can say some shit so he can get some clout, saying that he's a descendant of this person, a descendant of that person, he done been a descendant of every goddamn body. but he doesn't represent them same people. How the fuck you can sit here and say that you are a descendant of foundational black American ancestors, but you don't want to see any reparative justice made for them foundational black American ancestors? Clown. And you notice this? He'll sit there and say, don't give FBA reparations, because that's really what he's saying. He's basically saying, please, 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 I'm a Pan-African, and all my little tether friends will be upset. Don't give them reparative justice. And he sounds like a damn W. Sitting there saying, well, y'all's gonna take the money. What a W say, right? Y'all's gonna buy us all that weeds, and y'all's gonna get you some Jordans, and y'all baby mama dramas. That's basically what Dr. Umar just said. He sound like a fucking Republican. He sound like he on Fox News. He might as well go on Fox News to say the shit. He said the same thing that W say. He just said it with a Pan-Africanism twist. Now it's funny. He don't want us to get money. He's over here pocket watching, because that's what everybody's doing. They out here FBA pocket watching. They don't want FBA to get no money because they know that we wrap circles around their ass regardless. But it's funny how he'll sit here and say he doesn't want us to get money when it comes to reparations. But he didn't have no problem asking for our money when it came to donations. You notice that? No reparations, yes donations. When it came to donations, Dr. Umar had his hand out for 15 fucking years. The damn school will build itself quicker than he could build it. A damn school will build itself from scratch before Dr. Umar puts a goddamn chalkboard in the school. So he don't mind us getting money if we gonna donate it to his invisible school. This guy been raising money for 15 years and ain't did shit but throw a goddamn block party. I know y'all seen him in there dancing. This ain't no goddamn rap video. This motherfucker was dancing doing the goddamn Wakanda step. That motherfucker was doing the Pan-African percolator. The fuck out of here. So he'll take your money real quick if you can donate to his invisible school, but he don't want you to get reparations money. I'm just saying that looks like a motherfucking scam if I've ever seen one. Now let me throw you something out there. This the real, y'all know we got them exclusive. You know what Dr. Umar Johnson, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, Bill Maher, Marco Rubio, Elizabeth Warren, Raphael Warnock, Stacey Abrams, and Herschel Walker all have in common is that none of them support reparations for foundational black Americans. That's the type of company that Dr. Umar keeps. That's the side of the fence Dr. Umar's on. Hey, Dr. Umar's on the Herschel Walker side. That's where you are, Umar? That's where you done got to. That's where you done failed to, family. You done fell off so fucking bad you on the Herschel Walker side of things. Hey, Dr. Umar's on the Herschel Walker side of history. That's where you at now? That's where you living, bro? Your address is on Herschel Walker Avenue. That's a fucked up place to be. We over here on the Dr. Claude Anderson side, on the Nellie Fuller side, on the Dr. Francis Quest Wilson side. You got a 2-bedroom apartment on Herschel Walker Boulevard. How the fuck we over here certified foundational black Americans and Dr. Umar's agreeing with Herschel Walker? You know he a goddamn clown. All the way live. So another message to Dr. Umar, Pan-Africanism, a school that ain't never gonna be built, all that shit. Message to you. FBA, we going to Washington. And this time when we go, we coming to get our check. And we ain't spending $1 on your school, homie. So don't ask. Checkmate. So that's one op that's trying to come out here and stop us from getting our check. That's gonna fail. They're already running around here with a failed ideology, so I'm not surprised if that individual fails any goddamn way. But you also have a bunch of these other tethers that are popping up. We had all these things going on in foundational black American circles. We had all these issues, things that we were doing, things that we was handling, business as usual. Y'all know how it go. But y'all know it ain't business as usual without the tethers popping up and trying to run interference. So our brother Tariq Nasheed was in the space, and out of nowhere, you just see tethers just coming after our brother Tariq Nasheed. Now, y'all know tethers ain't nothing, and Tariq was handling them. They sounded like the goddamn immigration office. They was shook, having tether temper tantrums all over the damn place because our brother was giving them that work. But you notice one thing. If you listen to them talk, they kept bringing up reparations. That's what it was all about. Soon as our reparations rally started getting real momentum, soon as our reparations rally started really hitting the forefront, and it wasn't something we were talking about, but it was something that we could literally see, oh man, everybody came crazy. Everybody came crazy. In 1 week, we done had every single op pop out the blue. I told y'all, they got them fucking binoculars and they watching foundational black Americans every day.
That's why he keeps coming back. Think about it. Like, he wasn't here before, so why is he here now when he's weak? He's weak and he needs a following. So the thing is, he doesn't have influence because now people are waking up. They're asking him real questions. And so if you're going to, whenever
Brother, if this crazy FBI people start attacking Africans, he will be responsible for it because he's fueling the fire. That's what he's doing, and he's spreading this xenophobia, and that's what I want to be on the record.
So if you listen to any time I talk to Tariq, I always hold him accountable for being anti-African and hold FBA and other hate groups for being anti-African. If y'all been in spaces with me, I've also produced receipts on how they're actually backed by a far-right think tank. Come in here, they co-op movements. He literally, while we were at the height of police brutality uprisings, he was in his basement on a fucking microphone.
Hold on. I'm the motherfucker host, okay? In this bitch. So y'all need to fucking listen to me and what I have to say. We want some order. Order, okay? Let the sister speak with her hand out. Go ahead.
So what ended up happening? They started seeing what we were doing. They was watching us carefully. And then out the blue, here come the tethers. And what were they doing? Those tethers were talking about reparations. They was talking about tangibles. They were talking about everything that has something to do with FBA because they're not included. I told y'all them tethers is sweating right now. They're very, very nervous. They're very, very shook. They're very, very afraid because that plate that they was getting for free, that plate that they was getting without preparing a goddamn thing on it is about to be took away from them. So what's the next step? Trying to take away what foundational Black Americans have. You got to understand, they can't get it in their homeland, so they got to try to get it from someone else in that other person's homeland. And that's exactly what they've been trying to do with us. We are not surprised that when you have these fake reparations organizations popping up, these Democratic shields popping up, you got Republican shields popping up, it's only perfect timing that some tethers pop up. Our reparations claim has everybody in disarray, everybody spazzing the fuck out, trying to find how they can get foundational Black American resources. Either they can get a part of it or they can prevent it. Remember this, anybody who tries to attach themselves to our culture, whether that be a politician who likes to come around and dance in fucking churches, whether that be Fat Joe acting like he created hip hop personally, whether that be Tether saying we all Black, those people only get close to our culture so they can take things from us. Nobody gets close to our culture so they can represent us, so they can show us love. If that's the case, they'd have been on that page a long time ago. We understand what it is. The person who stands next to foundational Black Americans is only standing next to us to rob us because they are thieves. That is exactly what's happening. So if you look, all of a sudden, here comes this goddamn tether space. And now you're seeing all these troll spaces with tethers. But this is a little different. This ain't just we all Black, brother, come home, brother. That's not that shit. They've been trying to pull that shit for the last year. What they're doing now is they're just openly saying, we want your reparations. Or why don't y'all stop going for reparations? Or can we have some of your reparations? Everything they're saying now is centered around reparations because it's the 11th hour. They get scared now.
Immigrants are not stopping reparations.
My ancestors come from the Caribbean, and there were slaves in the Caribbean, and we didn't
qualify for this.
Well, here's the challenge. There are so many difficulties with trying to enact reparations, in part because the question is who gets them. Potentially, I could category. I honestly have called a pipe dream in the past, and I think that's what it is.
Well, it would be nice if there was an elegant, simple solution to all sorts of complicated problems. You're not actually talking about how to fix those problems if you're only talking about reparations. If we're only debating how we're going to parcel out responsibility for something that happened more than a century ago. And we're probably never going to do this. It's not clear to me why we're pursuing this thing.
Is it fair that there's no reparations, no restitution, nothing?
Should the Irish get reparations, by the way? Irish need not apply signs when they came here during the progressive era. Sure. I mean, how far do we want to take this down? Are we acknowledging that there are ugly spots in history? Because 60% of the world would be entitled to slave reparations if you wanted to play that game.
Well, here's a fact. Slavery ended 154 years ago. It's been a long, long time since we had slavery in this country. And you have people like my family. I'm Black, but my family came to the United States in 1962. My parents are from Costa Rica. Do I get a check?
I did a couple of essay contests that I actually won. And I won like NAACP AXO award for this essay and something else. I can't remember another, like I ended up winning money. And the essay was, do you think Black people should get reparations? And I was like, no, you didn't work for it.
Why are you so against reparations?
Valerie, it's a matter of a waste of time. We've got so much to do. And yet you have people who invest so much energy and attention on what I could consider to be a dead-end idea, a a dead-end movie.
They get scared now. They played them We All Brother games a year ago. They played them Come Home Brothers. They played all that shit a year ago. Now what they're doing is they're just openly saying it. Y'all ever see somebody where they'll play them fake little lies and they'll play them little games when they think they got time? See, the Tethers thought they had time. They thought they had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years where they could just play that con game. All right, so we can act like we friends with the Americans and then we can get what they got. Now they looking at that fucking clock and that motherfucker's getting real close to the bag. It's getting real close to reparations. This reparations rally, oh, that's got them scared. Oh, they shook. They like, damn, they actually gonna do it. Them FBAs is really gonna get codified, meet up in Washington, D.C. and come get their check. Didn't Martin Luther King tell you that? MLK warned y'all about that shit in the 1960s and you was playing. You thought we was fucking around. You thought it was a big game. It ain't no game. We about this shit for real, for real. You think it's sweet, you gonna find out. And everybody's about to find out right now. So the Tethers are in ultra tether drive. They're in tether turbo speed. They done hit that goddamn gas so fucking quick, they gonna be trying to come out the woodworks left and right. Every single day there's a new tether troll space. But these troll spaces are a little different. These troll spaces are talking about reparations. They are all coming with the same onus of how can we stop FBA from getting that bag, because this reparations rally is getting close. This reparations rally is getting real. And the thought of us getting to our money, getting our reparative justice, and them not being included has their asses sweating Joloff all over the goddamn place. All of it. You're starting to see all these groups pop up. In particular, they're coming after our brother Tariq Nasheed, because they feel if they can try to derail our brother, they can derail us. But guess what? We all stand together. We all stand together. If you hate on one FBA, you done hated on our whole family tree. And we love and we respect each other and we hold each other down. So don't just come after one of our brothers, one of our sisters, and think that you're going to just have to sit back and chill and relax. No, 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 no. That's like if you mess with one person in the family, you're going to have to understand the whole family's coming. And that's what we're doing. We all come in, we coming to get our check, and we're going to hold each other down and we're going to uplift each other. That's the FBA way. See, we don't have that backstabbing shit. We're not Dr. Umar, but we willing to say, fuck everybody if you don't do Pan-Africanism. All right, we're not the Tethers who say, oh, we hate y'all, we can't get in on your reparations. No, we're not the Democrats, we're not the Republicans who say we ain't gonna give you shit unless you get a vote for us. No, 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 no. FBA, we stand together. If you want to know what real unity look like, you want to look like people who are truly intertwined and stand together, you talking about foundational Black Americans. That's why they go around and always tell us that we hate each other so much. Why y'all think they sold this, we hate each other? Y'all know y'all FBAs don't get along, right? Y'all know y'all FBAs really can't stand each other. Y'all know y'all FBAs do all that blacks on blacks crime. Y'all notice that? The reason why they always told us that, because it wasn't true. It wasn't true. And that was a way for them to try to create a wedge and to divide us. The dominant society and all their minions feel if they can just tell a lie and we believe the lie, then we'll start acting out the lie. The main key is to not believe in their bullshit. If you don't believe in the dominant society's tricks, you will live a good life. You show me somebody who understands that the dominant society is full of shit, I'm gonna show you somebody who's living a great life. You show me somebody who believes that bullshit, I'm gonna show you somebody who's a slave. That's the biggest difference. They only tell us that we hate each other because then we can divide and then they can come on in and get our money. You feel what I'm talking about? So that's why we remove that shit. That's why we cancel that shit. That's why we delete that shit. And that's the type of time we're on right now. So all these tethered troll spaces that are popping up, we know exactly why. It's called reparations. And foundational Black Americans getting every single thing that belongs to us. But speaking of that, speaking to people who just start popping up out of nowhere, speaking to people who are sitting back and watching our reparations claim and seeing how they can get their fingers in the pot, how somehow they can mix it on up. Did y'all see that big demonstration with a bunch of Iranians that were out there protesting outside of our reparations summit, where Black folks were sitting there convening about reparations, and then you look, lo and behold, and then you see a whole bunch of this other group that shows up and they're marching and they're talking about things that aren't even going on in America. Now, America's a really big country, y'all. Real big country. There are 50 states, 2 big oceans, the Atlantic and the Pacific. There's the East Coast, there's the West Coast, there's down south, there's the Midwest, there's the tropics, there's the Rocky Mountains, there's the Appalachian Mountains, there's the plains. Out of all of those places that you could have chose, that you wanted to do your protest to bring some type of attention to where you from, you picked exactly where foundational Black Americans are speaking and discussing about our reparations. That is what you call a protest hijack, okay? That is a protest hijack where these other groups showed up to where we're marching so they can come in and steal our shine and perhaps, if all works out, get in on our money. And they're talking about things that don't even go on in America. Imagine if foundational Black Americans went to, let's just say, I don't know, Germany, and we showed up in Germany and we were marching in Germany talking about reparations for foundational black Americans in the USA, they would look at us and say, what the fuck that got to do with over here? So I say, what they're doing, what the fuck that got to do with over here? And then why the fuck did you come to where we are? And what the fuck does foundational black Americans have to do with you? Because the majority of you call foundational black Americans every racial slur in different languages. Yes, you do. Foundational black Americans are not supported in any of these countries. That's the kicker. A place where foundational black Americans will always be met with strife, vitriol, and hatred are the same people who come over here and play friend so they can get in on what we got. See, we can't fathom that. That's the difference. I always told you, a freedman, a fleer, we just can't sit in the same place. Because where we think we're going to get it on our own, where we think we're going to build by ourselves, because that's what our lineage has always done. This shows y'all that we're the only lineage with a history of doing things independently. You can see by how people currently act. You show me somebody's lineage and they're trying to leech off of someone else's lineage. That's a group that has never built anything. Because that's why they're acting the way they do now. You show me a lineage like us, who's like, man, I ain't trying to include nobody. I got my homeboy, I got my homegirl, I got my mama, I got my daddy, my auntie, my uncle. I got my FBA family tree. We don't need no outsiders. What do we say? We say FBA only, no trespassers. They don't think like that. They don't think like that shit. Nah, they rather crowbar themselves into us. That's why we call them crowbars and tethers. If they can't get it on their own, they pull out that crowbar and try to slide right into foundational black American affairs. That's how they do. Because they ain't never built nothing. We think, man, we got to get it on our own. We understand as FBA, as freedmen, anything that we ever get, whether that's through the political world, whether that's the financial world, the social world, publicly, privately, we understand we are on our own. We have to get it on our own. I mean, we only just built the greatest country in the world on our own. You feel me? So if you built the United States of America on your own, I think that gives you a real clear independent thought process, an independent thought process that none of these other groups possess. So these people are coming over to another lineage and trying to steal what that other lineage is doing. And here's the thing, the lineage that they're trying to steal from is the lineage that in their homeland, they practice anti-black racism against. And then on top of that, the lineage that they're trying to steal from is a lineage that is oppressed here. So you're going to another person's country and you're not trying to steal from the dominant society. Why don't they go to the dominant society? Look at all the meetings the dominant society has. Why don't they go to the Republican National Convention or the Democratic National Convention? Why don't they run up on Kemp? Why don't they run up on Joe Biden or Kamala Harris? Why don't they try to have a meeting with any of the W's? Why don't they go do that? They don't ever do that, right? They want to come to where oppressed people are talking about reparations. So you're going to another person's homeland and you're trying to leech off the oppressed people from that homeland. How low does it get? And this is what I'm talking about. Our reparations claim is being felt all over this world. The aftershocks, the domino effect is being felt and you see it clearly.
A whole protest going on right outside our reparations summit.
After 400 years of slavery and slavery that is still going on, do you guys support that? Can I see that?
Don't think they should go to their country and change it? You think they should? Yeah, they would kill you. But they kill us too. They kill us. You gotta go home. Sometimes you gotta. So Irans and foundational black Americans, freedmen, they're here protesting outside the Civil Rights Museum, outside of our reparations summit.
And that's the game. And then when they show up, what do they start saying? People who were there on the ground, they said they kept hearing, we're minorities too. Yeah, we're minorities too. Where do y'all think they learned all this shit? Let me say, there's no unity amongst tethers. We see these tethers and we start thinking that these tethers who come from all different homelands and all these different continents, we think they all get along. Tethers don't get along. Tethers only have one thing in common, y'all. And that is to steal from foundational black Americans. Tethers don't give a fuck. Tethers ain't cool with each other. They ain't no goddamn tether reunion. Fuck no. Tethers only get together so they can come after foundational black American tangibles and resources. So if they don't get together and they don't have any communication amongst themselves, how the fuck do they all say the same talking points, the same lines? We all minority too. We all people of color. See what I'm talking about? they come over here and say the same thing. Those people in that group who were talking that we all minorities too, that's the same thing folks in the other group say. And then the other group and then the other group. They all say the same thing. They all have the same narratives. They all have the same slogans. And that is some type of camouflage so they can get in on foundational Black American tangibles. Back in the old days, it used to be about getting in on foundational Black American legislation, you know, like affirmative action and hip hop culture, things like that they would love to get in on. Now it's all about reparations. It is all about reparations. They watching that reparations clock tick away. And every single day and every single second that we reject their bullshit is more time where they get more scared. They thought it was cool. I'm telling y'all, Tethers thought it was fine. The black and brown coalition, they thought it was cool. The people of color, they thought it was cool. They thought they was going to get in on it. They didn't really think that we was going to get reparations. See, the thing is, they didn't know that we was as codified as we are. They thought they was dealing with Edmund Pettus Bridge. They thought they was dealing with Yes We Can. They thought that they was dealing with Vote Blue no matter who. And then they come to find out, oh no, there's a whole different breed. And that goes back to what I was saying in the beginning. Everything we're doing today, family, is historic. We are literally changing the world. All of us in the Black grassroots, I'm telling you, they're going to talk about us 50 years from now. I promise you that. I promise you that. Black Alpha Network, I stand on that today, y'all. They are going to talk about us 50, 75, 100 years from now. They're going to look back the same way we look back on Reconstruction, the Civil Rights era, the same way we look back in slavery. They're going to look back on us and they're going to say that era right there changed everything for foundational Black Americans. That era. And they're going to look at everybody who played a role, and then they're going to look at everybody who was on the wrong side of history. Dr. Umar's, yep, wrong side. Herschel Walker, yep, wrong side. Because, you know, Dr. Umar and Herschel Walker, they're going to be looked at as holding hands and shit. They holding hands in the Stop FBA Reparations movement. And that's going to be on the wrong side of motherfucking history. And we all certified Black society, we're going to be on the right side. I'm telling y'all, history's being written right now in foundational Black American handwriting. They're going to talk about this era forever, for a very long time. Longer than any of us are going to be here, they still going to be talking about us. So let's make it a good one. Let's make it a good one. And if you want to make it a good one, you can start with rejecting all of these other groups, because they want to tell a history of how they came over here and stole everything that was ours. And they want to remove foundational Black American and insert their name. They want to take away the claims that we had, and then they want to put their names in it so they can get the money that belongs to us. They want to take our history and erase it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's very, 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 very clear. And we broke it down to the morsel. But at the end of the day, foundational Black Americans, certified Black society, we are not going for that bullshit. It will be us getting our reparations. It will be us getting our justice. It will be us getting every single thing that belongs to us with nobody else included. All right, nobody else included. There will not be one extra group getting in on our reparations claim. There will not be one extra group getting in on our history. There will not be one extra group that gets a penny from us. That's the way policy works. That's the way business works. And it's all business, never personal. And if my business is personal to you, then that's your own personal business. That sounds like a personal problem. So yes, we're going to continue to monitor the whole situation. We're going to continue to keep them surveillance cameras up. We're going to continue to watch who comes across that line and whether or not they should be here or not. And that goes for everybody, not just these tether groups who show up and try to act like us, who pop up talking about saying, we're all minorities too. I mean, I can go anywhere and do my protest, but I'm going to come all the way to FBA to talk about what's going on in my homeland way over there. And then I'm just going to happen to come on the day y'all talking about reparations. We didn't do this before. See, when we weren't talking about reparations, they didn't pull this shit. They would just try to slide in the middle of the night and take our stuff. Now they're like, damn, this place we can go. Trust and believe. When we have this FBA reparations rally, which is going to happen, salute to everybody. Cannot wait to see the whole family. Yes, indeed. When we have this rally, you're going to see so many goddamn tethers and shit popping up. Basically, they're just saying, where's FBA at? How can I get there? And how can I try to sleaze in and get some shit they doing? That's what I said in the very beginning. Name me one place where FBA goes to that other people don't pop up. Man, they pop up in our Twitter spaces. We'll sit there and have a Twitter space talking about Michael Jackson, and somebody will call in and say, well, hold on now. No, matter of fact, no lie. Y'all look at my videos. Shout out to my brother Sage, the Congo. Y'all go look at that. My brother Sage was roasting him. Y'all check that video out. The Congo. We was literally talking about Michael Jackson, and a damn tether showed up. I mean, how the hell are you that involved in foundational Black American business that you showed up when we was talking about Michael Jackson and trying to sleaze in on that? I'm telling you, from music to inventions to policy, every aspect, every iota of foundational Black American existence, there's somebody trying to get in on it because those people ain't never did shit they goddamn self. And if you ain't did shit your goddamn self, that means that you want something from somebody that did not do it for you. And guess what? We ain't doing shit for nobody else. Nobody else. Those days are over. All that hard labor and we gonna work for everybody else and we ain't gonna see no benefits of it, or they gonna just keep telling us, oh, y'all can struggle today and just wait until the next era of your kids to do good. I remember seeing Muhammad Ali talk about that. He was speaking about how the dominant society would sell every single generation the same line. It was like a fucking pimp. It was saying, oh, don't worry about it now. The next generation to do good. You gonna suffer, but your kids to do good. And then when your kids got older, they tell your kids, oh, don't worry, you gonna suffer, but then your grandkids are gonna do good. Then they go to the grandkids and say, oh, don't worry, you gonna suffer, but your great-great-grandkids to do good. And they walk right down the line and sold that shit to every generation. And then eventually motherfuckers woke up and said, hold on now. They told my great-great-great-grandfather he'd suffer. Then they told my great-great-grandfather he'd suffer. Then they told my great-grandfather he suffered. Then they told my grandfather he suffered. Then they told my parents they suffer. And then we'd all be doing good. And then we look around and say, well, how come everybody else is getting they do good right now? How come everybody else is getting they shit today? How come everybody else is saying things and then the shit is getting accomplished? Fuck that. We gonna get our things in real time. Real motherfucking time. And that's why this is real time era. This is why we don't wait for results. We go take results. So let me say that one more time, Black Alpha Network style. We don't wait for results. We take the results. You gonna give it up or you gonna get it took. We gonna snatch that shit straight out your hand. And FBA, we not asking, we not begging, we not pleading. We coming with that heat and we gonna take shit what belongs to us. You're not gonna take things out my refrigerator and take them home, okay? You ain't even coming in the house. That's the way we doing it today. This is no longer the wait till tomorrow generation. That wait till tomorrow generation that plagued our community for so motherfucking long. And while we was waiting for tomorrow, everybody else was taking things that we were creating today. Now we're saying fuck that. And this is why I say this era is historic, family. Look at us right now. We were talking about doing a reparations rally. Salute to the family who's putting this together. And I'm telling y'all, that shit got off the ground in 3 months. Come on now. You know, goddamn, how the fuck do we get reparations rallies, reparations movement getting more traction in a matter of months than the shit took other generations a matter of years? The only way you can explain that, the only way you can describe that is we different. We different. We hit different and we hit hard. And everybody knows you done seen some FBAs before, but never like this. And I'm glad to be a part of it, baby. And we pushing that line all the way through. So let's keep on doing what we do. And in the process of doing what we do, as I say, we gonna G-check some folks on the way to the bank. We ain't gotta stop the car. We ain't gotta park the car. We ain't gotta stall the car. No, we go straight to the bank, G-check some motherfuckers on the road there, go get our money, come home, G-check motherfuckers back at the house. And eventually we done G-checked everybody so they ain't got no choice but to bow down. Speaking of folks who need to bow down, these fake politicians who pop up in the middle of the night and try to derail us, tell us they ain't gonna do nothing for us, just tell us all types of bold-faced lies, have been exposed as well. You want to talk about the exposed list. Why do you think right now, every time you turn on the TV, they're saying, well, the Democrats need to do better with the black mans and the blacks womans and stuff. They coming up with all these reasons why the Democrats have failed. No, because the Democrats didn't meet with these people and the Democrats didn't go talk to those black folks. No, the Democrats are full of shit and we call them out.
I mean, I think she's sounding the alarm just as many people have been doing, but it ain't just Atlanta. I mean, it's Philadelphia in the race in Pennsylvania. It's Cleveland in the race with Tim Ryan and J.D. Vance. It's Orlando and Miami and Val Demings' race. And so Democrats have to do a better job, particularly, and I can't wait for my phone to blow up after I say this, but particularly with black men. You just can't come to black men after Labor Day and say, come vote for us every 2 years. There has to be a more direct, engaged approach with black male voters who, by all intents and purposes, after African-American women, are the second largest turnout base. And that's just something that we haven't done forever. And it drives me crazy. So I think she's...
Nah, homie, nah. Because when Marcel Dixon was saying that same exact thing about James Coon Clyburn, you was sitting there talking about, y'all black grassroots folks, y'all trying to run campaigns on Twitter. You ain't about that. That guy just 6 months ago was saying the complete opposite story. He was sitting there bashing black men. He was sitting there bashing the black grassroots. Now he wants to act like he's thorough. He wants to act like he's connected with us. He's the same old Democratic shield. And he could put on that act that he's representing the black male voter. No, he's not. He's representing all the Democratic shields out there. And they're upset. That's why he's upset. And that's why he's trying to flip-flop, because he understands that foundational black Americans will get rid of the Democratic Party anytime we say so. We can come up with a fancy way. They can get all political and break it down to the electoral and the populace and all these fucking complex reasons. It ain't that deep. It ain't that deep, y'all. Not at all. The Democrats are getting their asses whooped because the black grassroots expose them for the frauds that they are. It ain't got nothing to do with they ain't met with us and none of that shit. They've been met with us before, and when they get there, they tell us lies. Or, shit, Kamala Harris and meet up with you and just tell you I ain't doing shit for you. Joe Biden to say if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. So it's not like they don't come see us. They'll go to our church and dance all fucking day long. It sounds better when they say, well, the Democrats are just failing the black folks by not reaching out to them. That sounds better. That gives you the connotation that they actually care. Like, if they just reached out to them and spoke to them, then they could solve it. Let me tell you something. There ain't no solution. There ain't no solution other than a complete upheave of the Democratic Party as a whole. That's the only solution. Let me say this clear as day for the world to hear, the people in the back row, the front row, on both sides. The Democratic Party has to go through a complete change for them to ever get any attention from foundational black Americans. And that change starts with reparations in the form of cash payments. That's what it's about. It ain't about they ain't reached out to us or they've just done a bad job. And if they just make a couple more phone calls and they just speak to us a little better, see what they want to do. They want to set the bar low. They want to set the bar low to make it look like if the Democrats just do those one or two things, then FBA will support them. No, FBA is important shit. But FBA policies, that's what it's all down to. You notice that they'll sit here and talk about how the Democrats need to just reach out to us more, but they never say how the Democrats need to do specific laws. You ever notice that? It ain't anything about what the Democrats need to do in terms of specific policies for us. It ain't ever anything that the black grassroots has put on the table. We done put all our policies on the table. They know exactly what the fuck our demands are. We want reparations in the form of cash payments for the descendants of American slaves. We want an anti-black hate crime law passed immediately. We want resources and tangible laws passed in the form of policies, economic, education, enforcement, financial, business subsidies, business loans, the end of regentrification, the building of black predominant cities and infrastructure, the end of racial disparities and anti-black bias in the corrupt political system, the corrupt prison system, the corrupt judicial system, and the immediate punishment of any race soldier who unjustly harms a foundational black man, woman, or child ASAP. That's what we want, and I just laid it out for you. Play with it. FBA in the motherfucking building. They know what time it is. They know exactly what time it is. Don't let anybody play that game where this all comes down to a meeting. That sounds the same thing when they say, we could end supremacy if we just have a conversation. It ain't about no conversation. It's about policy. It's about policy over politicians. It's about policy over party. And it's about policy over any motherfucker who doesn't have foundational black American best interest in heart, mind, and action. Point blank, period. When you got that thought process like Certified Black Society has, shit gets done. And we getting it done.
It trips me out when I hear a lot of people, man, the CBC ain't this, they ain't that. It trips me out when I hear a lot of people, man, the CBC ain't this, they ain't that. Anytime I hear somebody say that, it's a good bet they literally have no damn clue what the hell the CBC does.
Well, yeah, they don't read. That's part of the problem. I mean, if they go to thegrio.com and read some of the fantastic articles by April Ryan, they'll get more information and see the policies that the CBC is pushing and have gotten passed. If they watch Roland Martin Unfiltered, they can see you interview members of the Congressional Black Caucus. So when they say that, there is a, how should I put this politely? There is a black echo chamber of, for lack of a better word, stupidity. And that, I'm not talking about people who don't know. I'm talking about people who prey on people who don't know. You have to understand the difference. See, there's this whole disinformation campaign targeting African Americans, and they use social media. And you have social media black pimps who put out misinformation to prey on people who mean well but don't know. If they knew better, they would do.
There's an HBCU. If we see that there's an HBCU that is owed $500 million, I don't understand for the life of me how these organizations are not saying we need to put on something major and go into Tennessee and serve notice. We want that check. And let me go ahead and say this right now. All of y'all ADOS, FBA, B1 folk who holler, cut the check, y'all ain't saying a goddamn thing about Tennessee State and the 500 million. It's amazing. I don't see none of y'all talking about the students at Florida A&M filing the lawsuit. So when y'all say cut the check, which check? And yeah, I'm calling you out by name, and I don't give a damn if you little fake-ass YouTubers make your own videos, but I keep telling y'all be running y'all damn mouths yelling out reparations. When is this not a form of it? How do you not fight for this? It's that they owe them $500 million. But some of y'all spending more damn time fighting with white supremacists, pissed off that Lizzo used the damn flute of a slaveholder, than talking about the 500 million.
See, now look, y'all saw that right there, right? Y'all saw that. Beep, 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 beep. He come rolling out. And that Michael M. Tep, just another Democratic shield talking. You see, they getting mad right now. I'm telling you, they mad. They real mad right now. Y'all is stupid, beep, 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 and all that shit. They only do that because they upset. They upset that things ain't going their way. And I told y'all, Zaddy's principal's office is ringing their goddamn phone, and they sending them out. Michael Hotep and BB Martin, them motherfuckers is upset right now because foundational Black Americans ain't going for the bullshit. As we sit here right now and have this conversation, and we telling everybody, it ain't about just meeting with black folks and having a conversation. We know that fucking game. They gonna meet with us. They gonna talk that talk. They gonna get in their car and they gonna drive right the fuck away. We know what it is. It ain't about no meeting. I want some motherfucking pen to paper. I want laws. Ain't none of that shit. These other groups and other communities, they getting shit done. They say, hey, one call, done, deal. All right? When Joe Biden was elected, he walked, or shall I say, he wobbled in his goddamn hover around all the way to the White House, pulled out a pen and paper on first day and wrote executive orders. There wasn't no damn meetings. How was there meetings? Because he wasn't even president yet. He did this shit in the first 30 minutes. Remember, after the inauguration, he hopped on his wheelchair and he hit goddamn wheelchair three-way motion all the way to the goddamn White House, and he started signing executive orders for every single other group, which means he had already made the promises to them on the campaign trail. And these other groups did not even vote for him at the same rate the foundational Black Americans have voted for him. So it ain't about no conversation. It ain't about just having a talk. It ain't about none of that. It's about them not wanting to do it because they're afraid that foundational Black Americans are going to get some real reparative justice in the form of a big ass check. All right. So understand, when they sit here and say we got to do this, that, and the other thing, and they send out all their Democratic shields, that's just to stall us out. That's just to waste time. We ain't into wasting time. We ain't into wasting energy. Because when it come down to energy, we got certified energy, and that's all the energy in the world. Put the motherfucking pen to the pad, give us our goddamn reparations, and that's what it is. This motherfucker really thinks a lawsuit is reparations. You got to be out your goddamn mind. Let me tell you something. The Democrats have came up with every single excuse, alibi, and justification to try to stop us from getting reparations, but that's the most pathetic one I've ever heard. A great example of that is our brother Marcel Dixon. Shout out to my brother Marcel. I know y'all seen the video where he ran up on Raphael Warnock. Let me tell you something. Down here in Georgia, Raphael Warnock don't give a damn about brothers and sisters. He tries to run on some platform that he been out here in the streets and he from the projects, none of that. Raphael Warnock is all about serving the dominant society and everybody else. So our brother Marcel Dixon went to go ask Raphael Warnock some questions, particularly about reparations. Once again, it ain't about just some conversation. It ain't about just having a talk. It's about, are you going to give foundational Black Americans what's on the Black grassroots agenda? Everybody else gets their agenda served. Everybody else gets their policies put forth. Everybody else gets federal legislation. We simply asking the question. Other groups are getting legislation. We can't even get the question answered. So Marcel walked up on the brother in a polite, just way and asked him, what about reparations? This is what you get.
I'm about to meet Senator Warnock, y'all, so let's see. Just do it.
She wants to throw everything at my TV when they talk about it. It just costs. Such a good picture.
Translate that anger into passion and hope.
Don't worry, I got you. I got you. Hey there, sir. Press that button underneath. Graduated from high school here at the Host Bank. Back after graduating from college. Reinvigorated, bringing my city together.
Excuse me, man. Can I slide in right there? Oh, yeah. Thank you. No, you good. No, you know. So what do you have to do now?
No, I was just you. You know what that is?
It's all right. Okay.
So advising folks
works on their. I just finished an internship at Candler down on Reynolds Street.
Wait, Candler. Oh, Candler. I was born there.
Candler Hospital.
Yeah,
And so I just finished that, and I'm gonna apply to grad school again this December. And
I'm at Dixon.
this will be my third time applying, and I'm really hoping and praying to get in.
Good luck to you.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to you. Hello, Senator Warnock. Hi, how are you? Very good. I want to ask you about reparations. Listen, for lineage, she just got to talk to him, so the white lady just got to talk to him. I can't talk to him? So the white lady just got to talk, but we can't ask about reparations. I hope y'all see this. I hope y'all see how they treat us. They want the black vote, but don't want to do black policies. I'll remember this, and I'm going to make sure everybody knows about it. Excuse me. You can talk about anything. You can talk about anything besides things to help black Americans. Then they want to push you out. They think that they can go and survive off the boomer vote, but they can't.
Now, he sat there and talked to a Karen that whole time. But as soon as Marcel wanted to talk to him, he said he wasn't doing interviews. That wasn't an interview. Marcel didn't say he was going to give an interview. He didn't have no damn camera or no recorder. He was coming to talk just like Karen was talking. But you see what they do? A bunch of lowlifes. See what I'm talking about? The same way when our brother Autodidactic walked up to Stacey Abrams and asked her about reparations. The two things you have in common about the state of Georgia is that two of the black politicians that walk around and say how they serve black folks so much, that they black faces in high places, that they the first blacks, they didn't even answer the question when confronted about reparations. They turned their back and they walked away.
I'll tell you right quick. How you feel about us getting reparations?
I'm sorry?
How you feel about black Americans getting reparations? You said no reparations?
They walked away. Now you literally see Stacey Abrams going to other groups' festivals, meeting with other groups, having a good time with them, talking to them, taking photo ops. She wouldn't even sit there and give our brother the decency to answer his question. Same with Raphael Warnock. He wouldn't give our brother Marcel Dixon the decency to answer the question. How are you supposed to meet with these people? Is this just a community outreach program? I know Killer Mike was talking about how Governor Kemp in Georgia, he went and met with some black folks and all that. Man, that shit is just photo ops. All right, let me tell you this, Killer Mike. That's a goddamn photo op. I'm not into going to take photo ops with the Republicans. If they not coming with some tangibles, then it's the same thing with the Democrats. Fuck both of them. Let me say this loud and clear. We ain't plantation hopping. I'm not hopping from red to blue, from blue to red. At the end of the day, if you are a Republican, if you're a Democrat, if you're a liberal, or you're a conservative, if you do not have foundational black American reparations on the forefront of your policies, it's fuck both of y'all. Hands down. We're not gonna do this. Well, the other group are gonna give it to me then. Why don't y'all go talk to the Republicans then? Why don't y'all go talk to the Democrat then? Man, fuck both of them. Check this out. Republican Tommy Tuberville, who used to be the head coach of the Auburn football team from Alabama. Okay, he's a junior senator. He came out and said, fuck reparations. Black folks do crime. Straight up said it on the podium. And the whole crowd was laughing. Straight up, he said, bullshit. He said, they think that they deserve reparations when they do crime. Listen.
Of crime has loomed large. I want to ask you about some comments that we heard from Senator Tommy Tuberville overnight at a rally with former President Trump. Take a listen. I'll get your reaction on the other side.
Some people say, well, they're soft on crime. No, they're not soft on crime. They're pro-crime. They want crime. They want crime because they want to take over what you got. They want to control what you have. They want reparation because they think the people that do the crime are owed that. Bullshit. They are not owed that.
You see, what's the denominator, y'all? Is that you got dominant society left against reparations. Dominant society right against reparations. Dominant society red against reparations. Dominant society blue against reparations. Trust and believe. They're race brothers at the end of the day, and if it all boils down to it, you will see the Democrats and the Republicans team up to stop us from getting reparations. That puts more of the emphasis on how we got to take it. Why we have to have an independent thought process. Hopping from plantation to plantation ain't gonna cut it. The Democrats are trash, but don't let they trashiness get you to thinking Republicans is some type of golden goose. It ain't the motherfucking case. They both trash. And the first thing they try to say is, well, why don't you say that to the Republicans? It's fuck them too. Well, why don't you say that to the Democrats? It's fuck them too. I got two middle fingers, fuck them both. That's how we get down. Don't try to play us with that game. If the only thing you can say is the other party, then that shows me that you ain't nothing but a political tool. All right, that shows me that you on that clown shit. Foundational Black Americans, we're about foundational Black Americans only. FBA only, no trespasses. We don't give a damn. So if you think you're going to shame us from one party to the other party, That's like trying to shame you from one slave master to the other. We don't go for that shit. We are on strike. That's what we are right now. Foundational Black Americans are on strike, and we're going to punish these two parties until somebody comes to the table speaking about real tangibles. I ain't talking about that all lives matter shit. I'm talking about real, actual, factual tangibles that is Foundational Black American approved. If it ain't approved by us, then it ain't real. And if it ain't real, it ain't right. And if it ain't right, you can get your ass the fuck up out of here. That's the way the game's going. Black Alpha Network stamp on that. And this is how it goes. Playing politics, it's a high stakes game of chess. If you ain't playing chess in politics, you need to sit your ass down. The reason why a lot of folks is always lost and they always do the plantation hopping because they playing checkers. They ain't even playing checkers. These motherfuckers is playing Uno. They playing kid games. They playing Connect 4. Everybody else is playing chess, and not just regular chess. They playing high stakes games of chess. You don't mess around. That ain't wise. Let me tell you something. You use your vote. Not as checkers, you use them as chess, so you can use these motherfuckers against each other. You punish one party with either not voting or voting for the opposite party, giving them the illusion that you might vote for the other party. That's how you play the game. Once you can pit the Democrats versus the Republicans and the Republicans against the Democrats, that is true independent political thinking, and that's where Foundational Black Americans are headed. And it's all gonna be spearheaded by Certified Black Society. That's how you get courted by the other group. And once one group sees the other group working with you, then they come running. Easy work. Starting right now. They in trouble. So instead of hopping from there to there and back again, the best thought process for Foundational Black Americans is to use these two groups against each other. That's how you break the Democratic Party. That's how you break the Republican Party. You don't break it by saying, you just gonna have my vote because you better than him. Or you can have my vote because I don't like him over there. Man, fuck both of them. And here's the kicker. Both of y'all gonna either serve Foundational Black American policies or y'all not gonna get Foundational Black American vote. And then we gonna sit back and watch both those parties crumble. That's how you play the game. And Foundational Black Americans, when it comes to Certified Black Society and the Black grassroots, are understanding that. So we flipping the game on them. So once again, look what we have here, family. We have the Boule. We have Pan-Africans. We have $2 tethers, $5 FBA, $3 trolls, the Republicans and the Democrats all out here trying to prevent Foundational Black Americans from getting that check. And let me say this, the only reason they have to try to stop us from getting the check because they know that we're going to get the check. You feel me? If they knew that we was never going to get reparations, you wouldn't see none of this shit. Why you think that old ass man is on that podium saying bullshit? Why you think so? He cussing because he mad. He wouldn't want to go out there and cuss. He wants to go out there and talk all that shit to Bob, Billy, Sally, and everybody. He wants to go have his Brussels sprouts and go the fuck home. That's what he would prefer. But he cannot do that because Foundational Black Americans is in the building. Our reparations claim has sent them shockwaves out. Everybody has to address us. They only address you if you pop it. Oh yeah. We so strong that we living in these folks' heads rent free. Why you think they got to make 235 Twitter spaces getting upset at Foundational Black Americans? Why you think they got to spend millions of dollars sending out Luke? Y'all seen Luke? Luke coming back. Matter of fact, Luke was just saying, Marcel, did you see that nobody likes y'all? Y'all don't like foreign black? Shut the fuck up. He running his mouth because he's being subsidized to come after Foundational Black Americans. But understand, all these motherfuckers gonna have to get their refund because when we touch down, and we start making them waves and we start pushing that line, all that reparative justice is coming straight to us and they can't stand it. They are upset right now. Roland Martin every day is talking about YouTubers. The reason why he got to do that shit is because he's sitting there on the internet looking at everybody, getting mad too. Hey, y'all know Roland be getting mad as hell because every single episode he brings up FBA and B1. And the reason why he does that is because FBA and B1 are stronger than him. Hate goes up, admiration goes up, envy goes up. That's why Roland Martin is looking up at us and he's getting so mad because we're doing things that he could never fathom. He got to kiss ass and bow down to get anything accomplished. And he still ain't getting nothing accomplished. We're doing everything based on the merit of being us. We're doing everything based on the merit of being Foundational Black American grassroots. We got sincerity, we got strength, we got reality on our side. They ain't got none of that shit. Only thing they got is some goddamn butter biscuits, some butter rolls, and some anybody but Trumps. And ain't none of that shit working and ain't none of that shit putting a dent in the movement. So we gonna keep on pushing forward. So when you start talking about our reparations, it's going after every single politician who's not represented. Once again, I don't give a fuck what side of the aisle your ass on. If you ain't Foundational Black American, Black grassroots, then you ain't got nothing. And you gonna catch that G-check. Feel me? Speaking of if it ain't Black grassroots, we gotta talk about something, fam. We got to really go there. Y'all know I was going to go there because y'all know this is no filter, no censor. I couldn't keep myself quiet on this issue. Y'all know I'm going to say what I got to say, how I want to say it, full speed and a whole lot of certified energy because can't nothing contain foundational Black American and you damn sure can't contain Black Alpha Network. So let me say this right now. I know y'all been seeing a lot of these strange reparationist groups popping up out of nowhere. I know y'all been seeing a lot of these people who claim to have been putting in the work for years and they're reparationists. And I know y'all been seeing about this reparations march that's popping up out the blue. No one heard of. No one even heard of some of the people who are there. Hell, a lot of people never heard of the founders of this. Let's break it down, family. Since this is a family gathering, since this is Certified Black Society, and we all in it for the love of the team, let's sit here and have a conversation about this. By the way, make sure y'all smash that like button before you leave. If you haven't subscribed to the Black Alpha Network, please do. Salute to all my new riders. Salute to all my day ones. Let's go to work, y'all. Because there's a whole lot of things that need some straightening, and we're going to get some straightening. There's a whole lot of things that need some clarity, and we're going to bring clarity. Because what's a movement without clarity, and what's clarity without some riders? So we're going to ride on this one. There is a march coming up, and it's not the rally on November 5th. The rally on November 5th is Foundational Black American Black Grassroots sponsored. It has a stamp, a seal of approval from the Black Grassroots. And then there's a march that's happening on October 15th. I want to talk to the family on this one, okay? Because what we do that's different than everybody else, we don't just talk and talk and talk and speak for ourselves. No, we let the whole family speak. Anytime you see a foundational Black American having a real genuine discourse, what we like to do is have everybody pull up. I held the Twitter space with my brother Zilla. Salute to my brother. We had a Twitter space and we let the family rock. We let everybody pull in, everybody talk, everybody get what's off their chest. That's how we do things. I want to do the same thing right now. I want the family to really let me know in the chat. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Is this October march certified? Or is it suspect? Because I've been seeing not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not 200, but about 500 red flags popping up everywhere when you start to examine this march. When you start to examine some of the characters in this march. Let's break it down like this. If you do not have Black grassroots speakers, then is it really a Black grassroots rally? That's what I got to ask the family. Where's Dr. Claude Anderson at? If Dr. Claude Anderson isn't being invited to your march, but Sheila Jackson Lee is, red flag. If Dr. Kaba isn't being invited to your march, but Corey Baby Bonds Booker is, red flag. Your march just so happens to go down the same week that the Black grassroots was trying to get their certified rally going. Couldn't get ours, but you got yours lickety split, quick, fast, in a hurry. Red flag. See, the thing about FBA, we recognize a new face. We recognize when people ain't been here before. We recognize when people just showed up. See, when an individual comes out, when he comes out and says, well, I ain't really even know nothing about Twitter. You don't know much about the Black grassroots, but you're trying to tell me that this is a Black grassroots march. Man, I'm telling you right now, that got Democratic Shield written all over it. That's like the Democratic Shield who does what? They show up to foundational Black American gatherings and they start trying to rap songs and they fuck it all up. We play Tupac, they call him Tupac. We say it's Tupac Shakur, they say Tupac Shaker. What George W. Bush said? He said, I'm not racist. I love Conway West. Not Kanye, Conway. And I shit, Conway and Kanye, both clowns, but that's a whole nother topic. When you show up and you don't understand the basic necessities of the foundational Black American Black grassroots, but yet you're claiming to be some type of foundational Black grassroots activist, I gotta side eye you, and that's looking real funny style. Real funny style. Because we've seen this play out before. Foundational Black Americans, all we got to do is look at history to see the future. Everybody knows that during the March on Washington, the I Have a Dream speech, that started off as a Black grassroots movement. Oh yes, it did. Malcolm X spoke about it. The average person doesn't even know Malcolm X was there. He was there in attendance so he can monitor what was going on. Here's how it went down. The Black grassroots said, we about to go through this whole goddamn country. We about to get real and we about to go to Washington to do what? To get our check. That's what they were talking about. And then what happened was the Kennedy administration got together with all the boulets, all the imposters, and he paid them to derail that movement and turn it from a black grassroots movement into a black mainstream movement. That's why instead we hear "I have a dream" and the way they twisted our brother's words opposed to what it was really about. The dominant society knows how to come in, how to slide in and twist things up, remix them and give them back to you. They're trying to do a reparations remix. All right. They want to take our rally and remix it and send it away. That's what they really want to do, because they understand that foundational black Americans are too strong. They've done every single thing they can do. Look at all of the trolls I just mentioned. Look at all the fake politicians I just mentioned. Look at all the tethers I just mentioned. Ain't not one of them done anything to stop this movement. If anything, we've gotten stronger. So the last step that they have is to send in some shills and to send in some grassroots imposters. And black grassroots imposters always start with these pop-up groups. A pop-up group who came here overnight has never served the community. Let me say that one more time. A pop-up group who has came here overnight has never served the community. They only pop up because they're trying to shut down what we got going. So as the family got together and we started doing something that we do in this era that no one ever did in other eras, called vetting. And shout out to the family, because brothers and sisters been out here vetting everybody. Who are you? Where you from? What's your policy? What's your background look like? It's called pulling paperwork. And when we get to vetting and pulling paperwork, those questions got to be answered. So when this brother thing he's got going, when he was being vetted, you could hear one thing. He sounded like he was shook a little bit, like the questions was throwing him off. He went into every single thing people do. He went into, damn, is my own kind doing this? Red flag.
And, you know, I have to say, you know, this has been refreshing. I didn't know it was going to be like this. You know what I'm saying? When you invited me to this space. I'm thinking that, you know, we're going to try to, I'm hoping that we still can continue to build unity and figure out a way to go forward. But to hear that people say that, you know, something stinks. What do you want from me? Do you want screenshots of emails? Like, what do you want? That my team is working so hard to get this thing done. And it's very troubling. You know, I mean, we black people, we out here, we putting our lives in the reparation movement. To do all this hard work, I expected it from the white man, but I'm not expecting any aggression or any type of pushback from within our.
He went into the, I don't know why, red flag.
The reason why I haven't reached out to them is because I'm not even sure. The reason why I haven't reached out to them is because I'm not even sure.
He went into the, I ain't got to say nothing, red flag.
If you want emails or screenshots, even though I don't feel like I need to show anything, but I'm willing to show anybody anything they want to see, because I want us to have a direct route. I know who to talk to now. Like, I know exactly who we need to contact to have a reparations rally.
Flag, that real defensive shit, like, man, why y'all asking me these goddamn questions now? That right there is a massive red flag. What do I always say right here on the Black Alpha Network? I said if somebody does not want to be vetted, that means either they don't know how deep the problem is or they are a part of the problem. And both of those answers are bad. Everybody is subjected to that. Bottom line, point blank. And if anybody does not feel that they're subjected to being vetted, that means that they are the problem and we got to run their ass clean off the block. So this brother was being vetted by some of our sisters and our brothers, and he didn't really answer the questions properly. So the family was like, hold up, bruh, answer these questions. And he said, I didn't even know about Twitter. I be on Instagram.
But I hope you understand that I meant that in a literal sense. Like, I literally am not on Twitter. And that I do respect that everybody's work and what they're doing. I praise everybody that's fighting for reparations. That is the thing that I talk about. We're all distracted when we should be focused on that one goal. But yeah.
So you're getting an Instagram reparations march going? That's where we at now, family? We getting an Instagram march. Is this an Instagram march? Because, I mean, the whole excuse of I don't really be on Twitter like that, but I be on Instagram like that. You know, because Instagram is so much more intelligent. Instagram is so much more certified. Instagram is so much more thorough than Twitter, right? You can get the biggest reparations movement ever going on Instagram. That's what we hearing, right? When you come to the black grassroots, we are everywhere. All the brothers and sisters post on Instagram just as much as they post on Twitter. Do not tell me that you don't know all these important figures and faces in the black grassroots community because you on Instagram instead of Twitter. Do not tell me that you're not inviting Dr. Claude Anderson because you on Instagram instead of Twitter. Do not tell me that you did not know that we were planning a rally in October because you were on Instagram and not Twitter. I call bullshit. And a lot of the family was calling bullshit. We got the right to. Brothers and sisters was calling up alike, saying, man, this shit look funny style. I'm real skeptical about what this man's saying. Who is this guy? And that's what's happening because right now, pulling paperwork is at an all-time high. We are watching funny style people and funny style actions very, very close. The vetting process in our community is thorough as fuck because we know what we're up against. Trust and believe, foundational black Americans, we know exactly what we're up against. We know exactly what we're trying to do. We know exactly what we're going to try to accomplish, and we know exactly what comes along with it, and we ready for it. As I always say, when it gets here, we'll be waiting on it. You're not going to catch us slipping. We're not blind to this. It's not going over our head. We're very clear. These people who think we stupid, who come around with these tactics that got dominant society written all over them, that has democratic shield written all over them, and they think that we're not going to see it as dominant society or democratic shield, fuck to the no. We own that shit. We own it exactly. So when you start watching this pop-up group, this brother, a lot of folks just don't know dude. A lot of folks don't know dude, so we asking the proper questions. It's like your house. If somebody comes over your house, and I gave this example, let me give it again to the family. If somebody comes over to your house and your mom and daddy said, who is this? You better explain who the fuck that is, right? Do you think you ever gonna bring somebody over to your house when you was a kid without introducing them to your parents first, and they just walk in the house, don't say hi, don't wave to no fucking body, and just go upstairs? Hell no. Your mama, your daddy, somebody gonna say, stop, rewind, who the fuck is this? Who you bringing to my house? Who's your mama? Who's your daddy? They gonna ask who their parents are. That's all the fuck we doing. We vetting, we doing the same exact thing. FBA, we've been vetting our whole life. We've been vetting our whole goddamn life. This is what we do. We come from a community of vetting because people are always trying to sell us out. Since we've always been sold out in every aspect, therefore we got to watch folks in every aspect, especially this right here. Especially this right here. Because if you think that we was going to talk about reparations and this shit wasn't going to happen, you was crazy. Matter of fact, are y'all surprised? Are y'all really fucking surprised that this happened? If I would have went to any of y'all a year ago and said we're gonna have a reparations rally on this date, and out of nowhere another group's gonna have it on the same date, would y'all been surprised? Would y'all been shocked? Or is this the same old tactic to undercut and undermine foundational black American progress? Ain't that the real? Come on now, if I would have went to any of y'all 3 years ago, 5 years ago and said, man, we're gonna get close to the bag, we're gonna get our reparations moving, and then another group's gonna come out and do the same exact thing. Oh, and by the way, this other group, they're not gonna invite Dr. Claude Anderson, all the pillars in the community. Nah. They're gonna invite a bunch of Democrats. Would y'all be shocked or surprised about that? Or is that just your typical bullshit when foundational black Americans get on our game? It ain't nothing new under the sun, family. We expect all this shit. You could take bets, man. I'd have went in my goddamn pocket. I would have placed a $100 bet on that shit immediately. Man, fuck 100. I'd have placed a $500 bet that if we came up with a rally, somebody was going to disrupt it by trying to use our same date. I'd have guaranteed that shit. And we'd all be fucking rich right now. We would have hit the goddamn lotto. We'd have hit the motherfucking jackpot. That's how typical it is when foundational black Americans get to move. And it's the same thing with the tethers. If you said foundational black Americans was going to get to the reparations bag and tethers was going to show up trying to stake claim in it and they was going to try to take our money, would you been shocked or surprised by that? Fuck to the nah. This is what they do. FBA against the world. And we win by knockout, by the way. First round. But it's always been FBA against the world, and these are the tactics that happen. So no, we're not blind to none of this. We were expecting this. We were sitting here watching it. I was looking at my goddamn watch saying, okay, where the ops coming from? Where's the ops? Oh, they're going op right there. Okay, waiting. The motherfucker showed up. You say op gonna be here at 12, that motherfucker get here at 11:52. You feel me? That's exactly how they do things. So no, I'm not surprised. But when you start listening to this brother being vetted, you can tell the vetting process was something he wasn't very aware of. So there's two things. Either this brother is a pawn and he doesn't know it, or this brother is a willing pawn. And as I say, both of those answers are wrong as fuck. This guy acts like he has no idea about the black grassroots, but yet he's acting like his march is some type of black grassroots sponsored thing. That's why I was telling our brother Tariq when I had called in, I said, this rally coming up, the real FBA rally, that is foundational Black American grassroots sponsored. This thing that this guy's got going, this march, man, I don't know what the fuck. That could be Democratic sponsored, Republican sponsored, Dominant Society sponsored, Tether sponsored, but I know one thing for sure, two things for certain. That motherfucking march ain't FBA grassroots. No fucking way. No way, because it doesn't have brothers and sisters there. We got a lot of brothers and sisters out here. How many big deal faces are there in the community? How many known pillars do we have in the community? How many real, genuine, sincere brothers and sisters do we have out here putting in that work? As I say, loyal to the soul. We got a lot of them. I'm one of them. You got a lot of brothers and sisters out here that this man could have contacted, but yet you contacting Sheila Jackson Lee.
But to be very clear, I didn't request that date. We did request the plaza because I think that's they might have had the Million Man March there, but is that where they had it at? Okay, we wanted it was gonna be there or another place, and they gave us there. And they got the Capitol in the backdrop and everything. So yeah, bro.
So quick question: What congressional leaders were you planning on inviting? I'm just curious. You mentioned you were going to invite some congressional leaders.
Right. I mean, obviously, you know, the two main ones that stick out to me, if there is, I mean, this is not something that's set in stone. But obviously, Cory Booker and Sister Sheila Jackson, they are doing things toward, you know, HR 40, whatever the case may be. But I understand a lot of people have problems with them. You know what I'm saying? I understand a lot of people got problems with them, and if they don't need to be there, they ain't got to be there. I don't give a damn. It ain't nothing I'm married to on that.
We talking about HR 40? We talking about some shit that's been there for 200 fucking years that they ain't pushing. And by the way, what does Sheila Jackson Lee do? She pushes these reparations for everybody else. What happened when you start looking at this guy's little statement? He said, for the descendants of Jim Crow. The descendants of Jim Crow. First off, let me say this. There's no such thing as the descendant of Jim Crow. There's no such thing as a descendant of racism. There's only a descendant of foundational Black American slaves. Okay, you see how they start twisting and turning the words? I'm not surprised that this suspect march with this suspect guy is starting to include suspect terminology. That's the same thing that the Tethers do. Y'all know them reparation task force out there in California. What were they trying to do? They was trying to make it about racism. This guy's trying to make it about racism. Those task force out there, they were trying to make it about Jim Crow. This guy's trying to make it look like it's about Jim Crow. I mean, if it walk like a suspect, act like a suspect, talk like a suspect, it must be suspect. That's the same shit. If you come around here and you using Tether language, I'm gonna think you a Tether. If you come around here using op language, I'm gonna think you an op. Can't nobody be upset at foundational Black America for raising the eyebrow to that shit, holding up a goddamn flag and saying no access. You can't have access over here.
Now, to answer the question about Booker and I'm about to say old girl, I'll show you where I'm from, Sheila Jackson, my point of speaking about them was not directly at them, but I'm saying we need some type of congressional presence, I would assume. So my question is, well, if we're not going to invite, do we have congressional presence at this march? And y'all keep saying rally. We never call it a rally. We having a reparations march. I want to be very clear about that. Yeah. So, what congressional people would you like to see, if any at all, some type of congressional presence?
I mean, look at it. You start talking about democratic shields. Listen to what I just said. We got Tether language. Everybody can come on in. The descendants of Jim Crow. What the fuck does that mean? You got Sheila Jackson Lee and Cory Booker. I mean, if Sheila Jackson Lee and Cory Booker are on your list of invites, what the fuck are you doing? That sounds like some Democratic National Convention shit. That sounds like midterm election shit. Because, you know, the midterms is right here. And they're going to come there and what they're going to do. Let's be real. Let's just go into the future. What they're going to say, family? They're going to go there and they're going to talk about what? We needs to vote. Let's cut the shit. They're going to show up. They're going to use this all-inclusive language and they're going to urge everybody to go vote. They're going to basically come and tell us quit worrying about reparations unless you're giving it to everybody. This sounds like an All Lives Matter march. Let's be honest with you. And it has a bunch of All Lives Matter characters. As a matter of fact, one of the gentlemen who is collaborating with this march has a Black Lives Matter history. Now, do you guys want anybody with a Black Lives Matter history leading any march for foundational Black American reparations? Isn't it funny how the same people who never advocated for foundational Black Americans, all of a sudden you start seeing them pop up in our reparations claims? You start seeing people who have backgrounds that is completely disattached from any foundational Black American empowerment, wanting to jump in the front of the line, wanting to get behind the steering wheel, wanting the red carpet rolled out for them, and expect us all to just follow suit? Really? No lie. My brothers and sisters out here, my sources, they did some studying, they did some examination, and they seen that there's some heavy Black Lives Matter influenced people inside of this march. Yes, there are. There's some people who say they've been doing the work for a long time, but when we start looking at the work they've done, they haven't done anything in terms of foundational Black American presence in the terms of reparations. Okay, our sister Teslin, she said it best. She said reparations is scholarly. Okay, this is a scholarly thing. Don't show up here and your expertise is everything except for the scholarly work. A lot of these folks were just those hands up, don't shoot people. Yep, a lot of them were just the no justice, no peace people. Now, y'all know when you start talking about that allows some of the twerk for justice people to start showing up. Let's be real. That allows some of the hugs for justice. Let's just go hug a race soldier and take some pictures. That's the D-Rays of the world. They start showing up with that shit. A social justice activist and a scholarly reparationist are two different things. If you just start letting any social justice person show up, I'm telling you right now, you're going to have Sean Queen, he going to be showing up, Tamika Mallory going to be showing up. Y'all know all them activists are going to be popping up left and right. And I think this is really what this is, y'all. This looks like a bunch of activists, all right? We're talking about reparationists, and these are activists. These are people who are going to act like they love reparations just so they can derail us. It's the same people who acted like they had a problem with police brutality. We start talking about police brutality, these folks showed up, they start talking about vote for Joe Biden. Derail. We start talking about economic empowerment, they start talking about integration. Derail. It's the same thing when we start talking about reparations. They come in and they start talking about all lives matter reparations. Everybody can get a piece of it. And y'all know goddamn well that's what these people are going to do. The best indication of future behavior is past behavior. And a lot of these folks' past behavior and they past paperwork, dirty as hell. So therefore, we got to be skeptical, and that's a cause for pause. We got to stand by everything that is genuine and certified to the Black grassroots. Now, I want you to listen to when our brothers and sisters were vetting this guy. Check the energy out. The energy is going to tell you everything. When you hear somebody's energy is off, then you guarantee that they're off. And remember this, if somebody cannot give you a direct answer, that means that they don't have your best intentions. Listen.
Okay, I get what you're saying, but what we're neglecting to acknowledge is when we talked about research, and when I talked about going on these platforms, how I do my research, how I research these topics so I can prepare an intelligent and informed response to whatever they throw at me. But thank you for expressing your concerns.
I never attacked this guy, ever. I said before I even knew him that this rally seemed suspicious and seemed like it'd be a boule takeover. Never even heard of him. And I saw him mentioned down the line, and then he took what I said personally and started listing off his accomplishments. I never even heard of him before. And all I said is, okay, what about reparations? Now, you've already said you didn't feel you need to explain yourself to me. What I'm saying, if you're going to be on a reparations rally speaking about what people of my lineage are owed, that includes me. So if you don't feel the need to explain yourself to me, then how can I trust you to speak for me? I never even attacked you.
I hear a lot of words, but I don't hear nothing being said. I don't hear nothing being said. And here's the thing. Our plan and our objective is very simple. Y'all know what I said. Just because somebody makes their bullshit complex doesn't mean seeing through the bullshit is complex. It is very easy for us to see through the bullshit. When you start talking to the real scholars and the real reparationists who really know what they're talking about and who have been on the front line, you ask them questions, they got answers. Hey, what do we need here, man? We need this type of money allocated. We need trillions of dollars. It needs to be to the descendants of foundational Black Americans. We got to trace you back to the census. Have y'all heard anything about the census? Who qualifies for reparations under their logic? In this march, what are they pushing for specifically? I don't understand. There's no specifics to this march. When we start talking, we got brothers and sisters who are number crunchers, who can break this shit down to the T. I don't hear any of that. All I hear is just march in the streets for reparations. This very vague, blurry, murky fucking stance. That's the same shit that allows all the ops to get in. This is how Tethers weasel. Remember, Tethers love when your door is unlocked. They love when you got a couple bolts loose, a couple screws loose, because that allows them to slide on in. We can't have that. So when you have a march where people are just saying, well, we just go march for reparations. Okay, give me some specifics. Well, they need to pay us. How much? I don't know. Who qualifies? People. What kind of people? Racism. What kind of racism? Bad racism. When? Jim Crow. Man, get the fuck out of here. Come on now. Come on. That's the difference. If y'all want to see somebody who's really about that life, go listen to the people who got the real, sincere, thorough answers. There's thorough brothers and sisters out here. There's levels to this shit, okay? Everybody's throwing around the term reparationist now. All right, that's a cool term in these streets. I'm a reparationist. I'm a reparationist. Allow the facts to dictate who's a real reparationist, not just the word. A motherfucker can throw around that word all day long, but when you listen to somebody speak, then you're gonna tell who the real reparationist is. The real reparationist is not just gonna come out there with a goddamn bullhorn and scream that shit 30 times into a megaphone. No, the real reparationist is going to be able to break these things down. Dr. Claude Anderson has been breaking it down since the 1970s, and he told you all the hurdles and obstacles that they're going to put in front of you on the path to doing it, and I'll be damned if we're not seeing it. And this march right here, this Instagram march, it seems exactly like what Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about.
The second group you got to deal with are going to be black folk. You're going to have all kind of black folk in this country going to be opposed to reparation for you. They're going to be jumping out. They're going to be jumping out. They're going to be jumping out of the woodwork. They said, we know there are blacks in America who are paid. They're paid to come out against you all on everything you want to do to get black folk out of the ditch. We know that. And you said, if we're going to help you, you better be prepared to deal with that and give us some ways of dealing with it. And they're going to come after you a lot of ways. You have a lot of blacks coming after you, telling you same thing like whites, that you don't need it, or that's counterproductive, or whites can get angry, or you're going to create racial problems in the country, anything else. See, it doesn't create a problem for anybody else to get something. Only when you all get something creates a problem. And they're going to be paid to do it. And they're going to try to do it also by always blending it in, going back to those terms I told you about earlier. Anytime a black person comes out, start talking about all, we all, you all, poor folk, multicultural, culturally diverse, minorities, you all have been had and been shampooed, okay? That's what it means.
He said it directly. People gonna come out the woodwork. And I'm seeing folks come out the woodwork. We talking about an Instagram reparations march. Really though? Really though? Come on, family, because I know what's really going down in these streets, and the answers that are coming back ain't too damn good. So therefore, foundational black Americans, we're going to have to stay to it, we're going to have to stay true with it, and we're going to have to stay black grassroots, airtight, no trespassers, if you feel me. And the crazy thing is, when they started pressing, bro, about some of these characters from the Democratic Party that start showing up, they asked him about N Cobra, and his answer was real sketchy. He's like, I don't really know much about N Cobra, but nah, they not gonna be here because a couple people told me. A couple people told you? How the fuck do you gotta get briefed on N Cobra and NARC and all these other bullshit ass fake reparations groups? Somebody had to tell you? I got people on Twitter that got 5 followers and they know about them scandalous motherfuckers. You're supposed to be holding a reparations march and you don't even know the biggest reparations frauds out there? You had to rely on information from a few of your friends, and then you see him trying to toss the information to his homeboy like, hey, we talked about that last year, didn't we? He didn't know shit. He couldn't answer the question about N Cobra?
Do you guys have any N Cobra or NARC people scheduled to be a part of it?
Nah, because the one thing, and Brother Naheem can attest to this, is that when we met last year, Brother Naheem? We did the reparation rally.
Last year?
Yeah.
Yep.
Literally off the strength, the type of man I am is, if you my homie and you tell me to watch out for some people, I got to take note of that. Right. So my brother Ty Harper and Brother Naheem was like, yo, and Cobra, gotta watch him. So I really ain't had no dealings with him. As far as I know is Aaron Cobra. Somebody wrote something on my page one time. If your reparation ain't got nothing to do with Aaron Cobra, you ain't doing it right or something. And I'm like, and I think that's the problem. Like, we're all doing our individual things, but I guess some groups out here may be trying to slow down the movement or sabotage the movement, whatever the case may be. But no, there's nobody from Ant Cobra. I can't even tell you much about Ant Cobra other than Brother Naheem and Brother Ty don't like him very much.
Man, you got a bunch of grandmothers who know Ant Cobra a bunch of frauds, and you don't know that? Nah, bruh. That's answer number 10, 12, 13. You ain't getting right. You ain't getting right, brother. He literally says it. Hey, I'm not making it up. That's his words. He literally said he does not know much about them. Family, we all know about them. Come on now. They were the ones out here trying to sabotage all those reparations panels. They was getting on the phone and shit talking about some reparations for flat blackness. Y'all know what I'm talking about. That's like not knowing the NAACP. How you don't know this, but yet you putting together a reparations march? Fraudulent. Democratic Shield. I'm sorry, it looked like Democratic Shield all day long. And we got to call that shit out. And I am calling it out because we got to be thorough and we got to stick to the truth. What we say around here, we give fact checks, truth checks, reality checks. And to make that even more fucked up, he did some other strange shit. After that space where they were vetting him, he started popping up in a bunch of tether spaces. Y'all know those troll spaces and them tether spaces. Anybody who's not aware, let me tell you like this. 24/7, 365, there's always a space with a bunch of trolls that are just hating on foundational Black Americans. I'm talking about all over the world. There's always spaces where people just sit there for fucking hours. I'm talking about you can go to bed, wake back up, and there'll still be a bunch of tether ass trolls talking down on foundational Black Americans. It happens every day. There's probably one going on right now. There was one when you ate breakfast this morning. You can skip all the way to dinner and there'll be another one. And I'm talking about from all different countries. You literally have famous trolls. You have famous trolls who are just known for hating foundational Black Americans. That's just what it is. So the crazy thing is after he got vetted, he was a little salty. He had a little salt in his voice. Let's be real, okay? He ended up hopping into a couple troll spaces, kind of complaining and kind of airing out his grievances with a bunch of known trolls. I know he said he ain't been on Twitter. I know he said he be on Instagram. He don't know Cobra. He don't know Narc. He knows Cory Booker though. He knows Sheila Jackson Lee. He knows HR 40, but he doesn't know any of this. Okay, either way, he hops in the troll space and he starts kind of just venting, like real upset, kind of pulling that, I didn't know what was up and I'm 7 foot tall and 299 pounds. And you know, like that makes your ass any less of a Democratic Shield. Democratic Shields come in all shapes and sizes, apparently. Look at Roland Martin. Any motherfucking way. Any motherfucking way. He starts complaining, he starts griping, and he starts talking about all these things, and he was kind of airing his grievances against foundational Black America. Listen.
What's going on? How you feeling? Team win, family. It's a team win. Like I say, bro, Erie Farms, he know me. He know how I get down, bro. We don't, you know what I mean? This ain't even my lane, bro. I don't do beef, bro. I'm 7 feet tall, 275 pounds, bro. I don't do beef, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't do beef. Like that. To even get any type of pushback on something I do is fairly new, but people can only do that through the internet, and that's okay though. And because as I just said in one of the last space, family reparations is again not a contest. It damn sure ain't an entertainment space for, you know what I mean, just, you know, joking and pretending to want to work together. I've laid all my cards out on the table. I believe I haven't I? Why would I feel like I have to be prepared for anything if I'm just telling you what I got going on with my march? When I say my march, I mean our march. I want to also correct that because you said earlier, yeah, if y'all want to have y'all march, y'all can have, see, I don't even see it like that. It's our march. And if you don't show up, you don't show up. But it's still our. I don't even look at it like that. So I know the whole psyche of the whole thing is off. What I'm saying is this. I'm asked to come into the Twitter space for a Q&A to explain people what I got going on with my organization. Now, you know, that was not just a simple Q&A. And you can't expect a Black man to get called soft, to get called, what else? Unqualified, and what was unorganized. Even though I got the permit, I got an organization. I mean, the sister just said I got websites and all that. Clear that up. The website is on auto. There's few things, you know, websites is websites. You know, I mean, that changed it. How can somebody judge? Oh, your website ain't right. What? Do you see the work we doing? Anyway, that's another story. Fact of the matter is this. I'm just asked to come there for a simple just, what's up, how y'all doing, nice to meet y'all. How we doing right now? This is what I'm thinking I'm coming into. This type of space. What's up, y'all? Oh, okay. Stop up. What's up, baby? How you been? Ain't seen you since February. You ready to do it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, Hulk coming. How many people y'all bring? Y'all bringing 1,000 people? Okay, cool. All right, bet. What kind of equipment? Don't. Not in no. So what you know? But do you know this and that? Oh, you don't know this and that. And I'm like, what the hell is this?
Y'all heard that? Ain't that kind of strange now? Ain't that kind of strange? I'm very curious when someone gets vetted or they get their paperwork pulled and they don't really like the results and then they start running. Let me tell you something. If you don't like the results of getting your paperwork pulled, it's not because of the person who pulled the paperwork. It's because of your dirty ass. That's the reason. So he seemed like he was very salty. He had a whole lot of Anna. The Anna was popping through the microphone. And then we see he shows up around a bunch of real strange characters. And they welcomed him in too. They were like, come on, brother. Come on, tell us how you feel. And he was just talking to him kind of like he knew him. I know he said he don't be on Twitter a lot, but you know, he seemed very more familiar with these trolls than he did with all the certifieds who were questioning him. When the certifieds was questioning him, he said he didn't even know their names. Remember, he said he didn't know much about the black grassroots. But yet these trolls he was talking to, man, I don't know. He seemed very familiar with them. They was talking like they was hanging out for a long time. Like they knew each other very, very well. So that was another red flag. And by the time we done got to this red flag, I mean, how many do we have? I know I got a lot. How many red flags y'all got? How many red flags you got from this character, from this organization, from this march? Put it in the chat. Let me see. Put some numbers in there right now. How many flags have y'all seen? I got so many, it's hard to even count. But I know the family got them. And as we sit back and we listen to the family and everybody speaks, one thing that we can all collectively agree upon is in this era, oh, we put in that work. Oh, we snatching paperwork. Y'all seen what we did to a couple of these other pop-up groups. All right. A lot of them don't even show their faces no more. So we're dealing with a reparation pop-up group or anybody who's on some funny style shit, no matter what it may be. We are regulating it. We are calling that shit out and we are G-checking it. Now, one more thing. Let me add this. I got to throw this in there. Since we regulated, we put everything on the motherfucking table. Real style. A lady asked him, yo, so who's speaking at the event? And I promise y'all, fam, he was like, it's like he had to read off a paper. It's a week away and he couldn't even answer the fucking question. It literally gets silent. I'm gonna play the clip. And I'm telling you right now, the silence is real. It wasn't nobody fucking with the audio. It just gets like quiet, like he said nothing. Like he couldn't figure out his own answer. And then they press him like, yo, what's the fucking answer, bro? Who's speaking at the event? Still, a week away and the event doesn't even have speakers that we are known. Now, mind you, the speakers that I guess who are speaking are like regular people. I don't know anybody of any high regard in the black grassroots community. That's why I say this is not black grassroots sponsored, but that's another topic. Either way, when the sister pressed him and said, okay, who is speaking? He followed with silence, and then he said, what's the question again, sis?
I got you on that. I did want to know, because during that space that wasn't like fully understood, who's going to be on your panel, because that's really important to me if I support.
You know, as long as a person is talking about reparations for descendants of slaves and Jim Crow, and they're not talking about it for no other people, and they're one of us, I can't tell, you know, what if a person from just the southern Mississippi and he can't read? Like, and you don't know him from a can of paint.
Wait. Did he just say something about what if you from Mississippi and can't read? What the hell does that got to do with anything? Y'all just heard that? What? Hold on now. Y'all just heard that? What the fuck was that about? And did he also just say, when asked about who the speaker is, he said, as long as you want reparations, so just anybody who wants reparations can just show up to speak? That's the qualifications? Nah, bruh. Nah. That ain't black grassroots, family. That's way unorganized. Awkward and lopsided like a motherfucker.
Move like that. Either you rolling with me or you not. Like, I don't even move like that, family. It's this.
But Rashad, can we know so that we can vet before the panel, so that, you know, if we have questions for them, we can ask that?
Oh, well, yeah, you know, the majority of people kind of are. There's Hulk Newsom. Obviously, we got
well, we gotta vet you. But can I ask though, just not vet them, but just research like what they're about.
I'll leave on that. You got some.
Before we move on, can we give Rashad an opportunity to answer that question, because I really wanted to hear his answer.
What was the question, sis?
Checkmate. Now y'all heard that. I heard that. We heard that. All we do is we cash receipts. If you want some receipts, come on over here. We're going to cash them. If you want some receipts, come on. We're going to pull the motherfuckers out and put them on the table. That's the only thing we do. That's all we do. And we keep it real certified style. And shit is getting real, y'all. It's getting really real because we getting closer to the bag. We all knew once we started getting that reparations train going, the hate was going to get turned up to the maximum. And the hate is at a fever pitch right now. Motherfuckers is coming from everywhere having smoke for foundational Black Americans. As we say, ops all over. Did y'all see somebody put out that big old sign and it said Tariq Nasheed go home or FBA go away or some silly shit like that? They're doing that because they're nervous. Did y'all see that Tara Perry, that Twitter troll chick? She came out talking about reparations. Some fucking candidate guy in California, Joe Collins or whatever the fuck his name is, Joe Clitoris, he was saying some shit about Tariq Nasheed. He was trying to act tough because he's upset that we're getting reparations. The one thing they all have in common is that they're upset that we're getting closer to reparations. Hell, y'all remember that Buffalo situation? On his weapon he put no reparations for you. Where'd he get that from? He didn't get it from the mainstream because they don't support reparations. He got it because he was watching the Black grassroots. I'm telling you, when we say we getting closer to the bag, you can watch everybody's else behavior and that confirms how close we get to the bag. Do not be surprised when you see this type of outlandish behavior from the whole goddamn world, because that outlandish behavior is a reflection that foundational Black American Certified Black Society freedmen are on our game. They would not be doing that if we wasn't putting in that work. They would not be doing that if they weren't scared, and they would not be doing that if they didn't see them dollars stacking. Now, when you start talking about reparations, or shall I say reparations, because it's all about us, and you got to put that R in it because that represents all of us, the whole family tree. Because we know everybody's going to try to put their hands in. We know everybody's going to try to steal something. We know everybody's going to be upset, be mad, be angry, but they can be all that shit and they can sit their ass down and watch us count this money. We're going to stack some of them 20s on top of some of them 10s, some 50s on top of some of them 20s, some 100s on top of them 50s, and we're going to watch our money grow. That's the way you do it when you come over here to the FBA side, and that's where we stay and that's where we reside at. We put our address on it. So all these fake people coming out the woodwork with all this type of animosity and all these nefarious tactics, let me let them know. And it's the same thing that we said in the beginning, a clear, distinct message for them. We are coming to Washington, and this time we are coming to get our check. They didn't want to listen when Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said it, and a lot of these other generations dropped the ball. Dr. Martin Luther King put it on the table. Malcolm X put it on the table. The Black Panther Party put it on the table. Dr. Claude Anderson put it on the table. And all the coons and the counterfeits just let that shit slide. They let that shit ride. They let that shit roll. We not doing that. This is the era I told y'all where we are changing the world. I told y'all we are all living in the greatest time of all time, and we're all a part of it. So we picked up that ball, and now we're going to push that motherfucker all the way into the end zone, and we're going to score the goddamn game-winning touchdown. If that feels good, then let's go do it. So I salute the whole family, and I told you from the beginning, living this experience of foundational Black American empowerment, going through this journey of foundational Black American empowerment, regulating all the suckers, regulating all the anti-Black, regulating all the haters, I would only want to do this with you. Everybody, I'm talking about the whole family. Everybody who follows the Black Alpha Network, whether you do or you don't, it don't matter. We all family. This is our family tree, and nobody's going to represent it like we represent it, because ain't nobody going to love us like us, because we are all we got. You feel me? Well, if you feel me, I will see you all in Washington. Let's get to it. One love from the Black Alpha Network. That is me, Black Alpha 6, and the lovely Queen Alpha. Yes, indeed. I see her right now smiling. Yes, indeed. Shout out to the whole family. Shout out to the whole team. You guys know I love you with a passion. It was fun breaking down all these things. Not only did we talk about reparations, not only did we break down reparations, we spoke about how we gonna get our reparations. Every dollar. That's what we do. Because one thing we try to do over here is create clarity. Everyone wants to cause confusion. We're going to create clarity. But everything we do, and every second we do it, we're going to do it that FBA style. That is unbreakable, untouchable, and unmatched. Always, we stronger than ever. Bet that, family. All right, I hope you enjoyed this Black AlphaCast. Many more to come. We're going to continue to spit that hot fire, continue to bring that heat. You guys make sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow me on every platform. Yes, indeed. Know that I love you, and I know y'all love me back. And when we stand together, the whole world just watches, and the whole world can bow the fuck down. FBA all goddamn day. Y'all stay safe, stay good, stay flashy, stay fly, stay vigilant. Let's get to this money. Let's cash these reparations checks, because everything that goes on is all about us, and the whole world revolves around us. Said it because I mean it. Yes, indeed. All right, Black Alpha 6, peace out to the family. And remember one thing every single day you wake up. You know what that is? I'm going to tell you. That is that black is beautiful, and beautiful is always black. One love.